right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. And Dixie Dave, just so you know, he's gonna come in here, but a bit later. He's just dealing with some frozen up pipes in Minnesota. It got super cold, and he's been dealing with it all day today. So he's just got his hands full with unforeseen circumstances that he's trying to get fixed up, and so he's gonna still try to come in though. He's just gonna be running a little bit late. So it's just you just get Crusher Crossen right now. And our guest, Racer X, has been trying to connect in for the last 15 minutes, but he's having some issues as well. It's not letting him come in. So maybe if he figures it out and fixes it, it'll let him in. But sometimes when you try to come in, depending on your device and stuff, and the I don't know, I guess your cache, and if you don't clear the cache, and there could be things there that are interfering with that lets you connect in. That happens. It's very rare, but it happens sometimes. So that's just the way it is. Yeah, guys, it's been a while. I'm looking at all the comments. In fact, let's bring some of these in here. Gizmo says, "Good evening and welcome back. We all hope you had a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and I did, and I believe Dave did as well. And I know Dave's been busy, besides what he's dealing with. He's been busy with, you know, working and stuff. So, his job where he works with FedEx, he's always super busy. So this time of year, so he's been really busy. But yeah, I had a good holidays. I actually was moving. I'm in. If you notice, this isn't my normal thing. I haven't got my belts up, and I do have. Well, I can get over. Am I going the wrong way? My bookcase here with the NWF World title, and those are some of the awards that the documentary got back in the day when we did the documentary. It won some awards, Telly Awards, and um, accolade, videographer, different things that we went into for contests and got some awards. That was kind of cool. But no, I'm going to finish this. It's just going to be a little different. The room layout's a little different, so I just as I relocated to this new townhome, and I got to get things set up yet. So I've been just busy. That's why we didn't, in addition to not doing a show over the holidays, it was I spent my Thanksgiving basically moving. And I did it as a one man army because my friend that would normally help me here was out of town, and so yeah, I had another friend help me with some of the big stuff, but yeah, and I paid for it. But Crusher Crossen, I can definitely move by myself. And that just goes to show you that if Canary Kid ever gets the guts, he'll still get his match. But yeah, we'll see. I'll talk a little bit about Canary Kid and myself will be coming on next week with NWF Forward. It'll be the two shows we do in December. This week with Rewind, next week with Forward, and we have a guest coming on with me and Ricky next week. It's going to be Ben Nelson, a personal good friend of mine. And you know why I like Ben? Because Ben's not afraid. Ben says it would be an honor to get in the ring with Crusher Crossen. So unlike the coward, he'll do it. So we're going to have fun on that show. And we're going to talk all about what Ben's been up to and he's some pretty cool stuff he's been doing. And we'll talk all about it, where he's been as far as traveling and matches and stuff. And now he can talk about it. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff he's done. It'll be a great conversation. And yeah, so that's going to be next week though. Damien, let's see. Damien says, "It seems like it has been a long time since your last rewind. Nice to have you both back." And Dave hopefully will be in here shortly. Like I said, he gave me a call an hour ago, said he's just going to be coming in late. So yeah, like I said, Thanksgiving holidays for one, we weren't going to have a show on Thanksgiving anyway, and then and I was just busy relocating across town, so it was busy. And then here in December, we don't do a show on Christmas either. So if you notice though, Keaton's been kind of rocking and rolling on his channel now with his podcast. He's been hosting them on his own, and it's been going pretty good for him. I'm still going to try to, hook up with him when I can, though, starting next year again with kayfabe with Keaton. So yeah. Sky Sports Video News says, "Love the new videos you posted." I gotta remember the camera's up here. So I'm looking here. I'm looking at the screen. Camera's up there. Love the new videos you posted. The quality is getting better and better. Yep, they're trying. They keep making improvements, and I try different things that they're adding to the, and as far as upgrading and upscaling. And some of the things I'm not satisfied with. It's still not quite where we. It's not 100%, guys, and but maybe someday as they keep getting more and more better with the AI technology side of things, it'll maybe get better. But we'll see. But I'm always keeping the video captures in raw format. So if we ever have to go back and do it again, if they improve things to the point where we can upscale it again, I will. So we keep that. As it is. So let's see. Sports Video says, Crusher, is it too personal to ask what you do for a living? Nah, I've done a lot of things for a living, you guys. I've owned couple different businesses, one of which was a flooring store that we sold out to Home Depot. And I got out of that business. I was in an architectural design business for many years. I was in retail management for many years. Went back to school, got my second degree in first degree was architectural design. Second degree I got in video production. So obviously, but what I mainly do is just because it pays so well is I do catering setups, mainly for lunches for businesses, and I just do catering setups because you'd be surprised how much money that pays, and it pays really well, and I enjoy it, and it's easy. It's easy work, and I don't have to work all day. I can work 3 or 4 hours and make just as much as I'd make doing an 8 or 9 hour day. So you got to be. My theory is work smarter and not necessarily harder, but work smarter, if you ever can. And make sure you enjoy what you're doing, guys. If you're going through life and your job and you're not enjoying it, get out of it and find something you like. And don't think you're, I spent many of my years early on when I was first got into the world of working when I was in my younger years, my 20s, thinking that I was, the job I had was the only job I'd ever have. And it's like, I just couldn't see myself getting by anywhere else. I felt like if I lost this job, I'd be out. And I learned that there's plenty of opportunity out there. So don't ever feel like you're strapped down to just one job, you guys. There's plenty of opportunity in this world. You just got to know, you just got to, be aggressive and find it and get it. Do what you like to do. Enjoy it. This catering work, I like it. I like the work. I don't mind doing it, and it pays well. So, all right. And by the way, guys, I want to do a special shout out here to Gizmo. Gizmo, and then we're going to get into the watch long, guys. And hopefully Dave will pop in. But I just want to say, Gizmo, he, as you guys know, I don't push for any kind of super chats or anything. We can take super chats and all that stuff. I don't ever push that. I don't ever ask for much. I do push the video network, but that's your choice if you want to do that, and you're at least getting something for it. But Gizmo gave us a very generous donation, and I'm not going to get it. I'm not even going to go into the numbers, but let's just say it was a very generous donation, and didn't ask for it, and I was very shocked. And I think it's safe to say Gizmo and Sky Sports and all those guys, Sky Sports, news, I definitely are number one fans here. And Gizmo, from all of us, Dave was, thrilled as well. We just really appreciate that you didn't have to do that. And I got to say, it obviously helps. And I'm the kind of person that likes to pay it forward a little bit too. So I helped not only Dave, I helped Ricky Henry out and Keaton with some stuff to help with the podcast side of things. And so I'm a big advocate of paying it forward. So, and I just wanted to say, Gizmo, I really, really appreciated that. That was so generous of you. And I gotta say, guys, and I'm not saying this because I want other people to give us any kind of donation. Look, that he wanted to do that, and I know the feeling when you want to do something like that. And that's what I told him. I said, you know, when you want to do something, you're doing it because you want to do it, and I get it, and I've done that myself. So just want to say big shout out to Gizmo for that. I really appreciate that. Now, guys, let's get into the watch along. we're gonna just start it up, and hopefully Dave pops in here. But this is gonna be from Dayton Studios and the Dayton Pollbarn. Gosh, what was the date? It was early in '87. I want to say February. It should be a good one though. This is Dayton Studios. Dayton was fun, and yeah. By the way, Gummy Bears, your message was retracted, but Dave is he's just having some frozen pipes that he's been dealing with. He's trying to get it fixed up, and he's going to try to come in a little bit later here. He's running a little late. He had to go try to get one of those Torpain heater things. So hopefully he'll be popping in here. So we'll keep the screen up and if he comes in. But yeah. So this show, yeah, Dayton Studios. This was the second show. It was actually our first taping at Dayton, but it was the second show. And so the windows are still screwed up. We get that light problem. We would fix this on the following show. I just got a can of black spray paint, a couple cans, and we spray painted those windows black. Problem solved as far as the light coming in. But for now, we're going to have to deal with it a little bit. But by the way, am I coming in? I had to reset everything up again. So let me guys know, is my audio good? Am I coming in clear and everything? I just want to make sure it's loud enough and everything. So if you guys want to let me know in comments. All right, let's get started with the watch along. We'll get the show going. And like I said, hopefully Dave pops in here shortly. Okay, good. Sounds good. All right. So go to our watch along screen. All right. Make sure it's not too loud. I think that's loud enough, right? You guys can hear it still? You can hear me, or is it? Just let me know if it's too loud. I can turn it down. I always like to keep the audio, you know, a little bit softer. But sometimes I make it too soft. So if it's not loud enough or too loud, just let me know. All right, Dayton Studios. Of course, I had to rebuild all these intros. I did them the way they were. I just had to rebuild them, make them look nice. Different music now. I had to get rid of the copyrighted music. What do we use here? I think it was Slade, Run Away originally. Yeah, I had to get rid of that, obviously. All-Star Wrestling. Chris Barger reminds me of Chris Barger was so deathly afraid Vern was going to get on us for using All-Star Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson here. Be sure to tune in.
This was tricky to restore this part because this had Jason talking over copyrighted music.
Such stars as Crusher Crossen, Mr. X,
well.
Kid USA Kelsey,
so I had to get rid of that music.
And many more. We're on Wednesdays 5 p.m., Thursdays 8 p.m. on Cable Channel 3. Tune in.
This is all Armory footage for these promos.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is producer Jason Clausen here, reminding you to tune in to the NWF Saturday Afternoon Special, live from Goop W.
Yeah, I'm talking about my finger broke.
Cable Channel 3.
That's all bad. Remember I talked about breaking my finger in that match?
They seem pretty confident right now, but I don't know. They're going to have to back up their words.
All right, Mike Bauer and Mr. Destroyer versus Mr. Macho and Slick Steenerson.
Competitors over here.
Of course, this is all, you know, restored footage now. Remember, those of you who aren't on the Video Network, either on the YouTube, you know, Championship Club, or if the Vimeo Network itself. If you're not on the network watching this, what you're seeing right now is half the resolution as the network has. Our network would be twice the resolution of this, a little bit better clarity.
And Mick Weller.
But for these shows, we have to kind of dummy it down a little bit.
Yeah, this is the Irish Tear here, and I'm going to get Mick Weller.
Yeah, so Gummy Bears, I talked about it. Dave is just working on some stuff at his house. He's got frozen pipes and stuff from the cold weather in Minnesota, so he's trying to get it fixed. A little bit of emergency for him, so he's dealing with that.
From one half
but once he gets that, you know, kind of caught up, he's going to then jump on.
They confront.
So he'll just be coming on a little bit later, hopefully. I say hopefully because, you know, who knows, right?
Oh, looks like he's in pain. Oh, right to the head.
Damien says, Crusher, what year did this take place and how old were you at the time? Okay, so 1987, February. February of 87. That's it. I hear Dixie Dave talking about a cool dude. That was Dave.
I like this tag team here, but
Jason
I don't
Crossen
know
doing his
what
McWeller
business Mr. Destroyer's got coming in there.
And how old was
is this, a
I?
rockin' Rotterdam?
February of 87. I
What is
just
he
turned
doing there,
17
mate?
in January, so I had just turned
I don't
17.
know, mate. Uh-oh. Looks like a little bit of cheating over here. Looks pretty good to me.
So Mr. Destroyer had moved to
Macho looks
Hudson
like he's
at this
getting
point,
pretty
but
anxious over on
he
the
was
other side
in
of there.
town, so he came for this show.
Whip to the ropes.
But it was going to be very difficult for Nick to
Clothesline.
make. Nick is Mr. Destroyer that got clothesline Steenerson just now. It was going to be very hard for him to
Stevenson
make the
trying to get
shows
over
after
there
this because
to
when he was in
tag.
Hudson, he just didn't have the
Here comes
transportation.
Mike Bauer
So it got
on
really
the
hard
attack.
for him,
Tags off.
you know, to make
Mike
the
Bauer rips to
make
the
the
rope.
shows.
What a move, drop kick.
Steenerson was so good. Slick Steenerson. Mr. Macho.
Mr.
So this is
Destroyer looks
Steenerson and
like he's on
Macho's
the
new
attack
tag
right now.
team
He
they had
wants
started.
Macho.
From-
Macho tagged. He's
They
in
started
the
to kind of
ring.
form up
This
after the
could be
October
good.
Armory card. It was a great tag
Come on,
team.
ref. Let him get in the ring. He's
Mike
trying to
Whaley,
set up some
Mr.
game plan,
Macho,
obviously.
Steenerson's partner. Great guy. Just a great guy. I was so glad to meet
Looks
him
like he
again.
wants
And
to shake hands.
Mike and I met up and had
It
lunch
looks like
when
he
I was
wants
in
to
the
shake
cities
hands.
last
I
year
don't-
when I went back to
I don't know if
Minnesota.
our cameras can
First
see
time
this,
we
but
seen
there's
each
a
other in
little
40
pushing and
years,
shoving over
roughly.
on the other
30,
end of
well,
the
38 years.
And from the behind, Mr. Destroyer.
So it was great to see Mike
Throws
again.
Macho across the ring.
Mr.
Knee to
Macho.
the gut. Still's got control.
Hopefully one of these days
What
we'll
is
get
this?
Macho on here and Steenerson as guests. We're really hoping to get them in. Yeah, Gummy Bears,
Here comes Mike Bauer.
tell him to elbow drop the pipes. Yeah, he needs to do something to get those
Alright,
pipes
here he
fixed. I think he's trying to find a
Little bit
heater
of
right now, or
sister
get a
help.
heater
Don't you
going to
agree?
get him, try to get him
I
unthawed.
think it. Uh-oh. Macho looks like he's
It's
doing
the
a
trouble
little
when
bit
you're
of
in
damage on the other end.
mobile homes and stuff. You got
That's
pipes will
good,
freeze
that's
up
good.
pretty
Here commentating
pretty
the
easily when it gets super cold.
Destructors.
Gotta really
We
be
plan
on
on
top of
taking
that.
the belts 2 months as we get out of the action here. Oh,
That's
we might
Mike
go have to
Bauer.
go right back right here.
Steenerson.
Back into the ring.
Come on,
Referee
man,
Rick
get in, help your
Pitts.
partner.
The late Rick Pitts, he passed away
Looks
probably
like they're
25,
getting
30
a
years
game
ago.
plan going here.
It was a while ago. Heart attack, I believe.
They want to shake hands?
Rick was a good
Maybe
guy.
not.
Very nice guy.
The legal man was Mike Bauer into the ring. Bauer and
Mike Bauer, you know, one of the older kids. He
Macho
was
needed a
probably
gut.
18
Unreal.
at this
I don't know
point.
if he could take
That's
much
the guy in
more
the
of this.
86 shirt.
He's got the
He,
full Nelson off. Here
Mike
it
was very
comes.
methodical on his wrestling maneuvers. He
He's on the
really
top
like
rope.
tag team
Here comes
maneuvers,
the
just
pipe.
trying to be crisp with his
I don't know
moves. If
he
you
hit
watch
him or
Mike,
not.
you'll
I don't
notice
think he did. He don't look
he
stunned
really
at all.
puts
He's
a
going
lot
for
of
the
effort
pin.
into
The ref doesn't see
technique.
nothing. He comes out. He's out of position.
All these
by then,
guys,
Macho
honestly.
gets out of there.
Mr.
Looks like he
Destroyer's
booked
pretty
him,
good.
guys.
And
A very
Macho's
good move.
this whole
Yes,
match
it
is
was.
got some pretty seasoned
Looks like
guys
he's got
in
him
here.
blinded right now. He might
Pretty good.
just have to take advantage of this.
Absolutely, Gummy Bears.
Oh, right into the-
Gummy Bears. Yes, of course I would. Dave would as well. Don't have a problem doing that.
Macho gets Destroyer the armbar. He's working over that arm. It might have to be amputated after this.
Yeah, the Fall Brawl DVD, awesome DVD.
Mike
Destroyer ain't even got
You know, we just did the restored version of that on the show
the Destroyer looks
couple-
like he's an egg and
about a month or two ago now, and we did it on October on the anniversary of it.
That
and,
arm has got to come off.
it's the
It's
first
gotta
time we
come
showed
off.
the complete show. You know, the DVD you got is edited.
He's trying to fight back here. He
And we
looks
did
like he's still.
you can still see
very,
this if you
very
go to our
hurt. Here
live
comes
tab and
Mike
see past
Bauer.
shows. But you'd be able to see the complete show. And we had Wayne McCarty on with us, and Wayne was actually in attendance for that show. So he was cool to have him come in as somebody who was actually there watching.
Very, very intelligently
cool.
comes in and helps.
By the way,
his
that's the
partner
Destructors talking there.
out. Everything's legal unless
Commentating.
you get caught here in
That's
the
John
NWF.
Hoffman right here. And Gary Parr
It's
at the
not a
time,
written
the original
rule, but I might
Destructors.
have to make it just that.
By the way, guys, when we go on
tag.
NWF Forward
Who's
next
the legal
week,
man in? It looks like
It'll be a
Macho.
Friday. We're moving forward to Fridays now. Going to be easier for Ricky to stay up late that way without school in the morning. So we will be on Friday next week. Just FYI.
A little bit of
We do
confusement
NWF Forward.
going on here. Mike Bauer against
Sports Talk 117. Crusher, I have seen the wrestlers go barefoot in socks with boots, but I have never seen anyone wear
What
sneakers.
happened to him?
Did you have a rule against? Yeah, we actually some of the guys wore
Can't see
sneakers,
back here.
and, you
We're
know,
kind of in
that couldn't
crappy
afford
seats back
wrestling
here.
boots.
We really can't tell
There were
very
guys that
well.
wore actually tennis shoes, and there was no rule against it. But yeah, I know some guys had sneakers on. As a matter of fact,
Macho.
Mr. Destroyer looks like he's got sneakers on.
The Destroyer.
Right now.
Uh-oh.
Or Mr.
Sticks
Macho
on the
does.
top rope.
Those look like
I don't
sneakers
know.
to me.
Body slam. Come on,
The one
ref.
that's oh, that's Steenerson there.
What a
And
move.
Steenerson's
I
got
love
sneakers
it.
on too.
I love it. Wrap that straight.
So yeah, there you go.
Come on,
There you go,
ref.
Sports Talk.
Unreal. How many times can you rob this great team? Mike Bauer.
A little bit of
legendary
heel
when it comes
commentating
into
going
it.
on here with the Destructors. You know, one of these days we
got
got to
the
get John
takeoff.
Hoffman on.
There's no
It's
tag.
hard for him
No
because he does a
tag.
Bible study on tonight. And Ryan Rude,
fan
who
really
was
getting into
his
this
other
match.
partner of the Destructors, he
And
does a
look like they get
podcast
triple teamed
Thursday
over there.
nights
Oh, it's got missed. Oh, he throws
for what
the
he
ref out of
does.
the ring. The
So
ref, I don't know if you can see it, but the ref looks a
yeah,
little
so it's going to be
stunned.
hard to get those guys. But we'll see. You never know.
I don't know. They better
I
take
really
advantage
like the
of
Dayton studios.
He's-
I mean,
looks
those
like he's
windows
really
I know are a
hurt,
problem,
man,
but
you know,
remember,
the best way to take advantage.
now every show in
You can
Dayton
tell
going
these
after
guys-
this, those windows will be painted black and it'll be perfect. The whole lighting problem will be solved.
They were the better team. They
They
should've
called that the
won. They would've
B-52
won.
bomber.
They
What
did
its
win.
camera didn't pick it up well, but what
They missed
Uh,
up pain like
Macho
we
would kind of like
do.
press slam Steenerson, like kind of throw him onto the opponent, and they'd call Steenerson called that the B-52 bomber.
I don't know if our cameras are still on.
Made up the
Looks like
move.
there
I
might
don't
be a
think I've ever
competition
seen it
against Mike
otherwise.
Bauer and the Macho.
It's just something they
He
came
gets
up
a
with.
cheap shot in, very good. I don't know, it's a free for all, bro. I don't know, is there gonna be wrestlers coming in? I don't know, I'm tempted. Are you tempted? Should we make our mark into this NWF, or should we just give it a break right now?
That's Rockin' Roundabout in the white, making his
We got
return
plenty
at
of
the
time to
time.
make our mark.
He was gone
We
for
got
about
2
6
months,
months,
and the
and then he
belts
came
are
back
ours.
to the show here in
It better
'87.
be.
That's Jason
We
Clausen as
better
Mick
get some
Weller in
good
that
matches signed up. We don't want to wrestle no
that bandana,
Dixie Dave
trying to hide his identity.
Or Block or
But
whatever.
Jason
Blockhead.
Clausen did so many
I'm just sick of
characters,
it.
so good at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson here.
That's Jason
Be
Clausen
sure
now.
to tune into NWF Professional Wrestling.
He was Ray Johnson, he was Rattlesnake
With such
Jake, he was
stars
Mick
as
Weller,
Crusher
he was
Crossen,
Corporal Clausen.
Mr. X, Kid USA Kelsey,
And many more.
Rattlesnake Jake,
Did
and
lots of
many more.
characters.
We're on Wednesdays 5 p.m., Thursdays 8 p.m.
He's a good
on
announcer,
Cable
too.
Channel 3.
First
Tune
announcer to
in.
go in our Hall of Fame, by the way, guys, was Jason. I think
Ladies
it's,
and gentlemen,
like I said, this is
producer Jason
I had to
Clausen
get
here
new footage for
reminding
this
you to
because of the
tune in
graphics
to
over it,
the
but that's, I
NWF Saturday
talked about, that's
afternoon
me
special,
talking about my
live
broken
from
finger
GW
at Brooklyn
Studios,
Park.
only on Cable Channel 3.
Was explaining how it all got broke. Ah,
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
let's see, Damien
our first
says,
match for today.
did you find
coming
that
in
having
first
adults
from
as refs was
Hickory
better
Hills,
for the show, or do you
Tennessee,
think that the kid
Dave
refs added more
Dixon,
unexpected humor? Eh,
and accompanying him
I didn't
is
mind it either
the
way. I think
Irish
my thinking at the
Terror.
time, my 17-year-old mind thinking was, we're getting more professional here. Let's continue on with adult
and
refs.
coming in next.
It's something I started doing ever
He is
since
the
the second
US
Armory card.
champion
We went with strictly adult
from
referees.
Washington D.C.
And it was just my way of
capital
trying to
United
make us
States of
more-
America. He is
Remember, guys, when I was
Kid
17, I didn't think of us as a kids
USA
wrestling show. I thought of us as another
Kelsey.
league. I wanted us to be on, equal plane. We're just another organization.
accompanied by world
Right?
champion
Spaghetti
Crusher
Sharkies,
Crossen.
PWA at the time. So that's kind of what I was doing. That's my mind, where my mind was. But looking back in retrospect, yeah, you're right. I mean,
And there you hear
there's a
Dave
whole
Dixon
different-
in the background.
when we look at the earlier shows with us,
His
when we were all
US
just kids,
title on the line,
and
Kid
in many
Kelsey, I don't
cases
think
learning
he's
the
risking
ropes,
too
we
much
didn't really
with
know what we were doing.
Dixie Dave.
Not that we did now, but we sure as hell
David
didn't earlier.
Dixon,
Um,
just getting over it.
yeah, there's some humor aspects to it. I'm sure a lot of people tuned in just for that, for the
Oh,
humor
and
side of it
kicking
too.
him.
And then,
Woo-hoo.
you know, to me, it didn't
It's
matter
match ended
as long
way.
as we're
It's a
getting
slot
views.
match, I
You know, as long
swear
as
it
people were
is.
tuning in and they were watching and they were
Dixon
showing up at
down
the
and
armory
Kid USA
shows and paying
Kelsey
admission.
above.
Look, I didn't care what the reason was.
Hammering on him fiercely, grabbing him
I learned a long time ago.
by the skin suit.
People that pay money to see us, doesn't matter what they think. It's
That's
still the
funny,
same
Dave doesn't have a
dollars and cents
brawn.
coming in on those tickets they buy. So, you know.
Oh! And a drop to Dave Dixon. For your commentating team.
So yeah,
is
Dixie
Jason
Dave
Crossen
in the
and
ring here,
The Destructors.
going against Kid Kelsey.
The Destructors. Could you
And that is
gentlemen please
Jamie
introduce
McParland, the
yourselves?
Irish Terror. And
We're from the
Rick
south side of
also went on to become
Chicago.
Ricky
We
Vaughn.
lived in the ghettos all our lives.
That is
That's
his,
where we
in
learned how to
Dixie Dave's
fight. We
corner
bring
outside the
ourselves
ring
into
there. You
the
see him in
ring
the
and
white
we're
karate
gonna do some
type
damage
top
in the
jacket or
NWF.
whatever. That's
I
that's
see.
Jamie McParland.
Well,
right
we have the
there.
Destructors here. Okay,
Can you see,
Dave Dixon laying on the arena floor. Oh, Kelsey.
I'm not
hitting him.
sure on Dixie Dave.
I'd like to
Like
see
I
Kid
said,
Kelsey
hopefully he gets
sign
in
with
here
some
soon.
real competition. He's better than this, even though I do not really care for the man. I'd like to see him in the ring with me.
Taking on Kid Kelsey, taking him. Hold on, Irish Terror.
The Irish Terror into the turnpost. Dixie Dave trying to fight back on the ring.
But he'll
looks
come
like
in,
the
I'm sure,
refs
as soon
ordering
as he
back
can.
in the ring. Here they come. Kid Kelsey
Dale
taking his own
W.
sweet time. Looks like he's going for the Irish Terror. Here you go.
Good evening,
I
everyone.
don't know
Good
if
to
you
see
can
you,
see
Dale.
this.
Never seen you in here before, at least not
Give him
with
a
this
few
login.
shots. Here's
Yeah.
the other half of the Destructor.
Watching this show from Dayton, Minnesota
looks
from
like Dixie Dave's getting
1987.
the crap beat out of him, but I don't know. That
Dixie Dave in
Dave's
the ring
nothing
right
but a
now. We're
fat
just talking about Dixie
slob.
Dave. Hopefully he joins in with me here. He had some pipes freeze up on him, so he's dealing with that, but he's gonna try to pop on.
He does it. He body slams Dave
Barely.
Dixon.
There's a big. Dave was a big boy, a big kid back then. I
That is
mean,
incredible.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So
Master
picking
Control
Dave
Center
up wasn't
coming to
necessarily
you.
as easy. And Kelsey, I don't know if
From Master
he
Control
really did
Center,
hurt his knee on that one. He may
NWF
have.
Pro Wrestling
He looked
Spectacular
awkward when he
card.
did
What
that
card
slam.
it's
I
gonna
gotta
be.
say.
Back
That's
at the Anoka
that's
Army
me in the
Bell
blue
after
jacket.
Anoka
Everybody
Army
outside the
Pellerkey
ring
was a
with
sellout
Kelsey. I
crowd.
was in Kelsey's
We're
corner,
suggesting
obviously.
that you get your tickets early.
Helping Kelsey up right now.
Reduced ticket prices have been done. It's the NWF NCWA Pro Wrestling Spectacular.
We're
card
trying to
Pro
help him
Armory
up.
Friday, March 20th at 7 p.m. Already signed Crusher Crossen to take on Slick Steiner.
As you can
No
see,
sweat, no belt
we
match.
were always
Where
promoting
Crossen
these
can't slam him, he
events at
doesn't
the
get the
Anoka
belt.
Armory,
Steiner
and
Steiner
Man,
world
it looks
champion.
like when he tried to
Crossen
body slam
we're
him.
all. This is of course the NW. This is the only Anoka Armory event, guys. I don't have on video anymore. Is this one here, the March 20th card, and it was a great card, by the way, guys. I wish I had it.
On the card.
Big, decent crowd, around 300 people. Wasn't a sellout, but it was, about similar to the first Armory card we did. Similar crowd. It was a great show. It was the one show where we had Derek Dukes on the card against Luscious Larry. Derek Dukes from Pro Wrestling America. I went on to go to the AWA and everything else, and short little run, but yeah, it was cool to have him on the show. And he wrestled in the mask as the Punisher, kind of a gimmick he did in the mask as well as Derek Dukes.
Stay tuned to this program for further details.
Yeah, Dale, good to see you in here. Any questions you have, just ask away. That's what we're here for. I try to answer any questions that come in. Gizmo says, "Wow, Dixie did a good job taking and selling those bumps." Yeah, Dave. Dave wasn't the best. Dave's gonna be the first sell. He's not the best bumper, but he gave it 110%.
Over here, the
certainly tried.
unpredictable white ninja. I
And,
really don't, I'm new in the W.
I've always
NWF.
said
I don't know what
Dave's
to think
biggest
of him. I
attribute
may
was his,
tag team with
heart.
him. I don't know. He looks like he's halfway
He was
decent.
all in
If he
as
follows
far
the
as
rules, I'm gonna have to
he
go
would do
against
anything.
him. But
He'd
if he
go
don't,
against anybody. He'd
I'm
take
all
any
for the man. Here
punishment.
he
He'd
is.
never complain. He'd keep coming back. Guys would test Dave
I
all the
guess he's got
time.
the guts not to
They would get
talk
rough
to us.
with him, stiff with him, and it
Let me
never
tell you,
stopped Dave.
Destructor,
He's kept
I follow the
coming back.
rules. If you're gonna be a rule breaker, you're gonna pay the price.
What price is that?
Maybe a couple broken ribs, huh?
That's
You
Mr.
think
Macho
I'm
talking,
scared?
but he's talking as the White Ninja,
My
another
boots are still
character
on, buddy.
that Macho did. Yep.
Kelsey.
Ladies and
show.
gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson.
These
here.
watch-alongs
Be
are like
sure
on
to
shows
tune
like
into
this.
NWF
Normally our shows would go an hour, but I've
Wrestling.
taken out all the public service
With
announcements
such
that
stars
would
as
normally be in
Crossen,
between these things. I've
Mr.
taken all that
X,
out when I
Kid
restored,
USA
so
Kelsey, Rebel
these shows
Snake
kind of
Jake,
get
and
shortened
many
up a little bit
more. We're on
now.
Wednesdays, 5 p.m.
Because once you
Thursdays,
take out
8
all
p.m.
those,
on Cable
you know,
Channel
60-minute
3.
promos,
Tune in.
PSAs and stuff, it kind of cuts the time down a bit. That's Bob
Ladies and
Pfeiffer
gentlemen, this
there
is
in
producer
the
Jason
shirt.
Clausen
Bobby
here,
Ferrari was
reminding
Larry's
you to
manager,
tune
beautiful
in
Bob Ferrari.
to the
He was my
NWF Saturday
co-host
afternoon
for this
special,
Saturday afternoon
live from
special
Group W Studios, only on
because he
Cable
was
Channel
funny.
3.
He was so funny. He was one of those quick-witted Bobby Heenan kind of
And the
funny guys. So he was perfect for a co-host for that show. That was our talk show that we
Destroyer
did.
is
We
accompanying
bring
him
on
to his corner.
wrestlers and stuff as guests. It's kind of our Saturday talk show we do it on Saturdays.
I don't know. I really don't care for this Rana bomb either.
Rock,
How about
it
you?
used to be Monday Night Madness. We used to do it on Mondays, and we moved it to
And now,
Saturdays. And call
coming
it
from
Saturday
parts
afternoon
unknown,
special.
Block.
I wished I kept those. I didn't keep all that stuff. I have a couple, segments
Looks
of
like
it,
a fine athlete.
but
on
I never
his
really
part.
saved those, and I wished I would have now. Because
He
those
could
were
use a little
really
more
fun
bulk
shows.
on them arms, though, don't you think? Yeah, he could.
Rock
He's
and
a little
Ronabom against
scrawny one
Block,
today.
who, of course, is Terry Block. That's how he gets his name, Block. And Terry is
And here we go. We're gonna start off the match. They're all checked up.
very well in the ring. I mean, Ronabom a bit rusty here because he had just
Rockin'
come
and
back
Block.
after 6 months. So
It looks like Rocket's got the
Chad,
upper half
the
on
guy in the
moment.
white,
Oh,
he
no,
was
Block turns
he
it
wasn't
around.
up to speed with the
Who's
rest of
got
us
who?
at this point.
Rocket's
Is the
got
only
the
thing.
upper
Just to
half.
kinda
Here we
remember
go.
that.
What's he gonna do? Oh no! Move the back
Cletus Anderson,
crusher.
what
That'll
what
crush your
arena
back
was this
so
at?
bad
This
and
actually was
run
in a
pathetically
pole barn that we
real.
used for studio tapings. So for their cable TV tapings we had to do.
Oh,
And
he
we
gets a
train
little
in
dose
this
of
ring
his
as
own
well. We do our
medicine over
training and our
there.
tapings in this
Terry-
location, and it was in Dayton, Minnesota, and
Block
worked
gives him a
really well
kick
for
in the
a
leg.
TV tapings like this. We had the lighting above the ring. I
Grabs
mean,
him by the
those
leg.
windows are
Oh,
bleeding in and
Rocket
causing
trying to
issues
get
right
out of
now.
it
But
by a
like I
couple
said,
of them nifty acrobatic
after this
moves.
show, we
Yes!
fixed that because we
You
painted
want a
those
match?
windows black.
We want a match with
And once
you.
we painted those windows black, that
You
solved
got
the light leak problem
When
of
you're
the
done
sun.
with our match,
Because what happens is it hits our camera, and the whole
Me
camera
and
goes
Destroyer.
dark.
You two
So
are checking out, huh?
but that we fixed that after
got
the show.
it.
Fine.
So all future Dayton shows are pretty good.
Well, now that we got this challenge, we're gonna have to meditate over here. We're gonna leave you with a
Let's
very good
see.
friend of
Damien
mine over here.
says-
Slick. Thank you.
The interview desk you are sitting at between matches
Rockin'
looks
Ronabom's
professional,
working
looks
over-
good on TV. Yeah, it's kind of like we kind of going for
over in
like
the
the Johnny
corner,
Carson
either back
kind
up
of
to the
look
corner.
for the show, or
And I
that
have a
show.
new
It was just like a
wrestler
talk
here
show.
today with me.
I was basing
What
off of
is your
Tuesday
name?
Night Titans, if anybody remembers that. That was Vince McMahon in the desk, and he had all the guests. That was kind of
Beast Warrior.
what we were going
The
after
Beast
with
Warrior
that
is
show.
his name. He'll be coming
And,
later in the year.
Yeah, it gives it kind of a professional look.
Back to the action.
Cletus Anderson, where did you do the
Lock.
live shows? Most of our live stuff was done at the Anoka Armory. And you'll see me on this show, we
Rockin'
promote that
Ronabom.
several times. You'll
Rock's
see us
got the
talking
advantage
about the
right
next
now
one
over
coming up.
Ronabom. They're just squirming around
That's
the
what we'd
ring,
use this cable show
trying to
for,
rock up.
is
Oh,
to
and Block
promote
gets
the
him
live
down to the ground.
events. And so it was really,
We're gonna. Well, here's my partner.
it was really good for that.
Macho Man.
Yeah, the Anoka Armory, Brooklyn
Thank
Park
you,
Armory we done.
Stevenson.
Later on we do the Dry Dock in Spring Lake Park.
And
Uh,
Black Trade.
Where
to
else did we
charge
go
him.
with live shows?
No, of course not. But I just wrestled Rock
Well,
and
that's
Ronabom
mainly the
last
ones
week.
I
He's
think.
a
Oak
very-
Armory, Brooklyn Park Armory, and then
very
the
hard.
Dry Dock, of course. And we did one show. I did was with NCWA, and I did it was Irondale High School. And then that was actually the biggest crowd I ever wrestled in front of. Almost 700 people at that one.
Coming up.
Yeah, and that was in Irondale.
Looks like
20th, Friday
Ronabom.
evening,
Let's
7
go for a
p.m.
pile
at the
driver.
Anoka Armory.
Let's see.
And NCWA.
See, here's what I'm
Pro
talking
Wrestling
about.
Spectacular.
This was the event coming up.
You
This
will
was the
be
next
seeing
Anoka Armory event that we were going to be at.
as luscious
What are they
from the
gonna do now?
This was
NCAA
where we had
Luscious
NWF
Larry
and NCWA, and NCWA was basically Steve and Larry, the older adults, trying to have their own league with NCWA. And then NWF was just us kids, and we would do these dual events. And that was going to be the plan. And it was a great show, by the way. This Armory event was really good. I wish I still had this one on video because, like I said, this is the only Armory event I don't have on video anymore because Steve Engstrom borrowed the tape and recorded over the damn thing back in the day. And I'm still mad about it. But it's a good show. I wish we still had it. I know the matches. Some of the matches. I know it was Invader 1 and Invader 3, who was Jamie McParlin. And they went against the Destructors. It was a good match. I went against Slick Steenerson on that one. Gummy Bears, did you ever wrestle anyone big?
With killing you, I would want.
If you mean like big name, somebody who went on to become big,
I will not.
I never. I didn't. I was supposed to have a match with Sean Waltman, X-Pac, when he was in PWA. We were supposed to do Wrestle for Shelter.
Looks like a foot swing.
But I ended up leaving the PWA before the event.
He's taking his anger out on Black right
so
now.
that match just didn't happen. Slick Steenerson, though,
Do you
one of
know
our
anything about this white ninja
guy
dude?
that was on our show
White
here.
Ninja? Yes,
Me and him were in
me and
PWA.
Mr.
Steenerson
Destroyer
had a
were-
match with Sean
I was
Waltman.
on the good side.
X-Pac.
We were pretty good friends with him. He
As far as,
wrestled in Florida. He
you know,
wrestled overseas.
you're
He
talking
wrestled
about
in
credible
Continental.
names. As far as
But
big
he's tagged
guys,
up
yeah,
with
I've
him
been
in
in
six-man
Slick
match.
Steenerson was
He was
100
also
pounds
tagged
heavier
up
than
with
I
the former
was.
Barbarians, Conan
I mean,
and Thandar.
Dixie Day
He
was
was
a
very
big guy.
good
I mean,
friends with them.
yeah, I've been in the ring
And
with
I
big
guess he
guys.
just got to word that the NWF
But
is the
as far as
best league.
big,
And he's come up
if
here.
you meant like
But right
who
now,
made it
Run a
big,
bomb. Oh, a kick to the small of the back.
that would be like the
Ninja
extent
Ninja,
of
can
it
he
was
karate
Waltman,
chop
I
a
think.
bullet?
Well, I don't know,
Um,
Steerson. I doubt it.
What was the wrestling angle with the wrestler wearing the mask? It's just Terry Block trying to
45
do another
seconds in the match.
character to give us a
Run a
different
bomb,
character
hip
for a
lock,
match.
moves it
Because
into an
without the
armbar.
mask, he's Invader 1.
Oh, super kick.
So that's
He's
the whole
got Black
idea.
Kurt dancing around on the ring. He's
And
a
he,
ballet,
he
wouldn't
started
you
this
think?
Block
Oh,
character at the
yeah.
October
30
Armory
seconds
card, and then
left.
he kept doing it
Rocket
like as
Roundabout
another
would look
second,
pretty
kind of a
good in a
second
2-2.
character.
I
So
went
yeah,
down,
Roundabout,
it
like I
goes
said, was
nice
a little
tights that
rusty
Pretty Boy
here just
Taylor
because he had
wears.
come back and he wasn't up to speed with the rest of us. Terry Block,
30
very seasoned though. Like Terry could do
have
anything.
minute for him.
It's a joke. We should go end it.
But
But we've already been fined. We better
but
not.
Terry
Yeah,
though,
we
one
better
thing
not.
Terry
Too many
struggles with
cheers.
is
20
when he's,
seconds.
you know,
What do you have to say about that?
like
please?
for instance, I'll give you an example. I could go in the ring with somebody like Roundabout who wasn't up to speed, and I could make the
12,
match look good.
11,
Terry Block maybe struggled with that a
9
little
seconds
bit,
left.
but if you get Terry in with somebody who knows how to work as well, it's an awesome match. Terry is really good with people that are up to speed.
Over. What a laugh. We
So-
could have taken him on in 1 minute.
Not that this was horrible, but I'm just saying they could, you know, Roundabout needed to get up to speed a little bit.
Me and you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
At that
Ray
point
Johnson
in time.
here. Be sure to tune into NWF Professional
I'm
Wrestling.
going to take these comments off after I read them.
With such
I know,
stars as
hopefully
Crusher
Dixie Dave gets
Crossen,
in here soon.
Mr.
I haven't heard an
X, Kid
update from
USA
him. But
Kelsey, Rattlesnake Jake, and many more. We're on Wednesdays 5 p.m., Thursdays 8 p.m. on Cable Channel 3. Tune in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is producer Jason Crossen here, reminding you to tune in to the NWF Saturday Afternoon Special, live from Goop W Studios, only on Cable Channel 3.
The Destructors, 1 and 2. Making their second debut in NWF Wrestling.
Thank you, Crossen. You're a nice guy.
well, you know, Cletus, did we ever travel across Minnesota? He had a friend doing that growing up named Fat Zach in northern Minnesota,
okay,
huge
now
guy.
the Destructors not well liked.
We just pretty much did the
Mr.
Metro.
Destroyer.
Although I did go out to Hutchinson, Minnesota, because
And the
that's where we
White
got this
Ninja,
wrestling
the
ring
debut
from,
of
this
the
actual
White Ninja.
professional ring. You're never going to believe what we paid for it.
All
It's
right,
a, you
we're
know,
all
20
set
foot
for
by
action.
20 foot
Let's ring the
professional
bell.
ring, and we paid $300
There-
cash.
there
Can
she
you believe
goes.
that?
Oh, wait a minute, we're not ready.
It was a steal, and I think the people gave it to us at the low price because they knew we needed it and they weren't using it anymore. So it was just kind of almost a generosity thing.
Okay,
But it was
let's start with
exactly
action.
what
I'm
we
joined
needed.
here with my tag team partner,
But
Kid
when we went out to
Kelsey.
Hutchinson, we were
And
going
we're
to
gonna
do
do
an
the
event in
company. Oh, look at
Hutchinson
this.
with
These
this
guys know
outfit.
where they're coming
We
from.
talked about doing that. You know, we were going to have them come to the Armory on our show, and then we're going to go out there and do one in Hutchinson with them. Never happened,
I
though.
tell ya, they're a lot
That
like
would have
the
been
Ring Warriors,
traveling
and
a
the Ring
little
Warriors,
bit
of course, are
around
coming back
Minnesota,
too,
but-
and maybe we might have a little bit of a conflict.
I
The
know,
Ring Warriors are
$300.
crowd hatred, so
It's
are these
like,
guys, but who knows what'll
You know, and
happen.
it was our
Mean
first
as a nail.
real ring,
Yeah,
right? And it's
they
like,
don't
wow,
play
'cause
Mr.
everything
Nice
up to
like,
that
Mr.
point, we were
Nice Guy,
building our
Mr.
own rings,
Destroyer.
and we were just using lumber or
They
whatever,
don't
and
play
it
like,
didn't have the proper bounce or
they're not the
anything.
crowd favorite. Oh, right,
So it was
right
really
over the
tough to
top
bump
rope with his
in
neck, very
in the
dangerous
other
move. He
rings.
can end up
When
breaking
we
the
got
person's
this,
neck
we
very
felt the
easily. There's
difference,
cable in
and
those
we
ropes,
realized that we
and
could now,
that cable's
even
real-
it just
look at that
brought
white
everybody's
ninja. He is,
confidence up and bumping
very
when we got this ring. I
experienced in the-
remember that.
Oh, look at that. He's
It
karate
just
chopping
it
him.
felt
He's
really
taking
good,
out both. Holy
like to
cows.
take the
Oh,
bumps.
look at him go.
Because up until
He's
this
ready.
point, we had
Oh, right to the
stiff,
gut.
hard,
Oh, they don't know
no
what to do.
no bounce
Well, it's
whatsoever
like,
mats that
maybe
we
we'll have to
wrestled on with
contact
all
him,
the
who
rings we
knows?
made, and they were hell.
Oh,
But we were
boy, I tell
kids,
ya.
you know,
You
we were
know, I
young.
just
We
wanna
could
change the
handle.
subject.
When you're younger, you
Beautiful
can
Bobby
handle it a
Ferrari,
little bit more
my
too.
co-host on the Saturday
But,
special. Well,
yeah,
I was
rough.
talking to Kenny Boyer, and he says that Ferrari has
Oh yeah,
not a
the
very
behind
good
me there, those
reputation
are
in the
some of the
Northeast
awards
area,
that
and I
are
don't know what's going
documentary
on.
NWF.
Maybe if Kenny Boyer's around
Kiss
on the
Press
show,
and
we'll
the
try to talk to
Untold
him at the end.
Story
But we've got a match
been out
here.
for a long
The
time.
White
Those are
Ninja
some of the awards for that
Ooh,
documentary
doing
that are
like
behind
some
me
different
there.
finger chops.
Um,
White Ninja was all
The
white.
Telly
that,
Awards.
You know, most people.
What the hell are they?
Uh,
Yeah, Telly
they-
Awards,
no,
Accolade
the
Awards,
Cowboys always wear the white. Into the ropes, break the hold.
Videographer.
They
There's
always wear the white.
there's like
We
a
always wear
half a
white.
dozen awards that we got
That's
for
true.
that.
We have
Actually,
a
I think
white
there's like
jet,
13
we have white
in
limos,
total,
we have
but
white girls.
not everybody gives you a
We have-
nice little trophy.
green
Some of you
money,
just get
though.
a
That's the
certificate.
only thing that, well, it's partly white.
Partly white.
And
But yeah,
let's see, we've got
yeah, that documentary got a lot
Destruct-
of attention back when
the
it was first
Destructor
put out.
#1 and #2. They're both double teaming him. Come on, ref. Can't get away with that.
It's the
Oh,
White
he pulls
Ninja.
him by
That's
the
Mr.
foot
Macho in the
into the
mask. Now,
ring.
that's one of
White
his
Ninja.
double
Got
characters.
his
They're going against the
handling that he likes to
Destructors.
make.
The Destructors still trying to
I don't know if that was
find
a
the
tag or
look.
not.
Like, this is their first
Similarly,
show, and they got
he
these,
respects
like,
the state
yellow,
of Minnesota wearing a
like,
University of Minnesota t-shirt or sweatshirt, respecting Irish
you know,
whip into the
yellow
ropes.
kind of very
Oh,
loose
he
tank
turned him with a
top
karate
type
chop
things,
drop
or
kick.
muscle shirt
And
kind
now
of
he
look.
does a somersault. Oh, and he tags and Mr. Destroyer. Oh, don't get. Oh, they looks like
I
they
don't even
both
think
got
they had the
hurt.
face paint
Mr.
yet.
Destroyer ain't getting nowhere. I've been informed by a
Nick Doom was very
no-name
good in the
source
ring.
that Mr.
Wonder
the
if he
White
does his
Ninja
missile
was
drop
trained
kick
by the same man
on this
Lex
show.
Luger was trained by.
Maybe he did that
But
last
Lex
week.
Luger did not want the karate training, so this man, the White Ninja, has very. very
Yeah,
close
Clayton, it's the documentary, NWF The Untold Story. You can actually see, if you wanted to watch it online, it's on Amazon Prime. If you can, rent it or whatever. It's only like a couple dollars to see it on there. But that's where you can see it online. Otherwise,
Special card, specially reduced ticket prices for this.
I don't know if we have it on our YouTube channel
For more information on this card,
or not. I can't remember.
check your community events channel.
I
in
don't
near
think it's on the
future,
YouTube
and
channel.
Stay tuned to this program.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know it's on Amazon Prime. Though. Yeah, like if you go to Amazon Prime, you can find it if you search it there.
Oh, he misses eye. Both men trading karate chops.
We don't make a whole like I said, it's $2 when somebody rents it on Amazon. So I think our cut is $1. It's I just put it there so that it's accessible so people can find it if they want to see it.
Here he comes. He's coming up on the top rope, right on the arm.
Let's see.
Okay, who do you want?
You can hear Thandar talking. When I clean this stuff up, I clean up the audio too, and it really clarifies it. You can hear me and Thandar having a discussion about his match with Dixie Dave just now. It's crazy. Talking about the finish and everything right on camera, guys. Shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, Destroyer getting double team. The
How
referee
dare we
having
do
a
that?
bad day. Oh, there's a pin on the referee.
Hey, we're joined here with Ray Johnson.
Referee bails out.
Rick Pitts.
Referee Johnson.
Those Elvis sideburns,
Oh,
you
I'm
gotta
sorry,
love it.
Jason Clausen.
Wait, who? This is a corporal here. What was this? I didn't see the decision. What was it?
There's only one way to learn if they don't learn right.
Double
I was
disqualification.
talking about one way to learn if you don't learn right. I know I was talking about the wrestling.
The
I
winners
don't remember the
are
discussion though.
From Chicago, the Destructors are the winner.
We also want to.
Well,
What's going on
Dave,
here?
you know, he wants to be on, believe me.
The National Wrestling Federation here. We
just
want to
haven't heard
remind
back
you,
from him. I
coming up
haven't
in
got
the
an
National
update from
Wrestling
him.
Federation, we have some returns and some new wrestlers. Coming in from, I believe it is Phoenix, Arizona. He is Hercules Holmquist.
Hercules Holmquist,
Also,
yeah, he was
the
at the
return of the
October
Ring
Armory
Warriors,
card. He
Chuck
was that big guy
Robertson,
in
Todd
Macho's
Chester,
corner.
and coming in for a match
He
or
never,
two,
he never
Ace.
did though make his debut, but
Yeah.
he was talking about it. He was going to.
And we'll be right back after
Also
this.
known as Andrew Carlson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson here. Be sure to tune into NWF Professional Wrestling. With such
Yeah, I wish
stars
we
as
could have
Crusher
Hammer in
Crossen,
here. By
Mr.
Racer
X,
X,
Kid
'cause he was
USA
having
Kelsey,
connection issues, he just
Rattlesnake
couldn't
Jake,
get
and
through.
many more. We're on Wednesdays, 5 p.m.
So far, it's been the
Thursdays,
Crusher
8
Crossen
p.m.
show
on
here
Cable
at Rewind
Channel
this
3.
week.
Tune in.
Dave doesn't miss shows very often, though, you guys, as you know. I can
Ladies and
think of only
gentlemen,
one
this
other
is
show he's
producer
ever
Jason
missed.
Crossen here, reminding you
And
to
that's in
tune
the
in
last
to the
nearly 3
NWF
years.
Saturday afternoon special, live from Goop W Studios, only on Cable
Yeah,
Channel 3.
sports video, it was. Says, looks like this whole episode was shot with one camera. Yeah, these were just one camera shots for these TV tapings. I only did the multiple cameras at the big events like the Armories. Because they were hard edits. It was a lot of work. I had to get 3 cameras to do it. And that wasn't easy. And then when I did, they were just very complicated edits. Now, eventually we got the mobile van for like our last Armory show, and all the dry dock stuff was the mobile van. Well, that was a different story. But these earlier days, it was just single cameras, hard edits to do multiple camera shots. So this is like a special look, kind of like video of me that I had done back in the day. Now I rebuilt this with new restored footage, so now you're seeing this with the new music and new restored footage, so from what it was before. So kind of cool. The music that we used for this was originally the Beverly Hills Cop theme, that so this is the closest I could find to that. I always try to find music that matches as close as I can. That's royalty free, because we got to be royalty free on Vimeo, you guys. That's why all this copyrighted music has been removed now. Had to. Back in these days on cable TV, it was still, nobody said anything. We could play copyrighted music. It was not an issue. Since then, things have changed. I guess, they don't want us to use their music now without getting their cut. And it's just way too expensive to be able to make it work. That's footage from the PWA dual event we did with Eddie Sharkey. Got to take this stuff right here. I don't think we've ever seen that show yet. Oh, I gotta show you guys something too. That's something I can do. I can get ready for that actually. Yeah, 1 second. Headset down. I'm going to show you guys something when we get out of this show. When we get out of the show, I got to show you guys something I've been working on. You guys will kind of think it's cool, hopefully. So stand by for that. Wayne! There he is! Referee Bruce Kreitzman, yeah, on the PWA. He was referring to Bruce in the PWA footage that we were just seen there briefly. Yeah, good to see you, Wayne.
What is he doing? Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here.
Show. There's Bruce
A
again.
new
Bruce was the
champion,
referee.
Crossen taking what is rightfully not his. Mr. X declared
Pretty
the
good
new
house
champion.
there
This
for
will be
this event. All right. So yeah, I did one of me. I did one of Luscious Larry, And that's all I did. I wanted to do more of these, though.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that was
this
kinda
is
cool.
Ray Johnson here. Be sure to tune in to NWF Professional Wrestling.
Just got to remember back then,
With
you guys,
such
to do an
stars as
edit like that
Crossen,
with
Mr.
analog
X, Kid USA
technology
Kelsey,
was
Rattlesnake Jake,
a
and many more.
process. It was time
We're on
consuming. It
Wednesdays,
wasn't like
5
today
p.m.,
where you can do it all
Thursdays,
digital.
8 p.m. on
Do
Cable
it fairly
Channel
quick.
3. Tune in.
You had to literally, for do quick little edits like that, you had to. It was a process when it was analog.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is producer Jason Crossen here, reminding you to tune in to the NWF Saturday Afternoon Special, live from Goop W Studios.
Yeah, we push
only
these
on Cable
little
Channel
promos
3.
all the time. And then in between this would be PSAs, and that's
The
what
NWF
we
Wrestling.
don't have anymore now.
And entering the ring at this time.
So what match we got coming up?
Parts unknown Invader #1.
Invader 1. Terry Block. Now this is the same guy we've seen as Block. Now he's his character. He's always been Invader 1.
Okay, his opponent from Ireland.
Irish Terror, Jamie
One half
McPartland.
of Dixie Dave's tag team partner.
Went on to become Ricky
the
Vaughn.
Irish Terror. Irish Terror.
I tell you something, Jamie was one of these naturals, you guys. He came in and just could naturally bump. He could take it. He could do the moves. He was one of the very few I could count in one hand what I would call a natural. He just had it. He could do it. Jamie
Ladies and
was good.
gentlemen, we're getting set for action.
He's good right out of the gate. He doesn't. The funny thing is, he doesn't think he was, but he was.
Okay, rep, are they ready?
He was good.
Here we go. We're up with the action. The Irish
Yeah, I
Terror
was just
take
talking
on
about that,
Invader
Wayne.
#1.
I do have snippets of it. I have,
entering the league last week and made
I
his
don't have
debut. Now
a.
he's
I
on
don't
his
think I have a
second debut.
complete show, but I do have
Invader 1.
segments of it.
Irish whip,
That
spins
some of
around,
them,
belly
and I wish I
first,
would have saved it. I never saved that stuff because at
And
the
he
time
hit
I
the
just thought,
thing.
there's no wrestling
picks
here.
him up. Can we have a slam?
It's just, it's
yes,
just a talk
Terry
show.
Block, what
I
a
wished I would have
Oh,
saved it.
nice slam.
Before the Saturday afternoon show, we did a show called Monday Night
Invader
Madness.
1, you
And it was the
mean?
same show. It
And
was
he's
just on
tagged
Monday nights.
Invader 1.
We were doing Monday
Oh,
nights before
shot
WWF
put the-
and
shot put
WCW
face
did their
first.
Monday night stuff, Nitro and all that Raw. We were doing Monday nights way before them with Monday Night Madness. Wasn't any wrestling though; it was just a kind of a talk show. It was it's like a Tuesday Night Titans kind of talk show.
Bionic elbow of some sorts. Irish
Yeah,
Terror
these
whips
you
him
know,
into the
and
ropes.
remember Jamie, this is his first
Oh,
show, so he's
clothesline,
like,
a flying clothesline.
think of this. This was the very, very first time he was in a wrestling ring
boot to
doing
the
a match.
head.
Was this show on this card? Now this is
Irish
his second
Terror-
show,
Taylor-
but it was the
Ta-
same
Irish
day
Terror,
taping.
Excuse me. Is not experienced wrestler and always gives his men time, and that's why he lost to Mr.
Yeah,
Mike
exactly.
for 16
Exactly,
last
Wayne.
week, I think it was.
WWE throwing out their
Whoa, he
TNT
got
show.
up in the air to
That's
the top
kind of
rope
where
on
I
that
got the
clothesline.
idea from was
Here
TNT,
comes
honestly.
Invader #1 going to number 2.
You know, the
Whoa,
Tuesday Night
Double
Titans.
sledge on the head.
So
Picks
yeah,
him up,
Jamie
wants to dish
McPartland,
out
the
a
guy
little
that's
more.
in the
Oh, what's he
black,
doing?
his
Looks like
first
a
show,
suplex. No.
and
No.
for him to
Neck
be
breaker,
as
spinning
good
neck
as he
breaker on,
was at this point in time
Irish
for him was
Terror.
amazing. That valet he's got out there, the only valet
Picks
we
him
ever
up,
had,
what's he
it's
gonna
actually
do?
Jamie's
Irish
cousin.
whip.
Her name was Loshi. Very attractive young
Back
girl she
body
was.
drop.
And she
You got
would
about
just be
10
his
feet in the air on
valet.
that
He
back
wanted to
body
have
drop.
like the valet
Irish
kind of first
Irish
character was what he was doing.
Terror. God damn, I have a number.
She really didn't know what to do with herself though, as a thing. We should have tried to get her more of a gimmick. Like we should have helped her out. We should have said this is what she should do. This is we should have gave her some guidance instead of just having her be in his corner. This is all 2020 hindsight. You know me, guys. I always go into 2020 hindsight vision here when I look at this stuff. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? You got to remember, it is what it is.
And much more with plenty of
And,
action from the wrestling ring. So the NWF NCAA
there we are,
is preparing
pumping
for the
those
Pro
armory
Wrestling
cards again.
Spectacular at the Anoka Armory Friday, March 20th, 7 p.m. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. It's gonna be
Well, Cletus Anderson, the worst injury you've seen doing NWF. I've said this many times. I could count on one hand how many times we had an injury in the league, and it's hard to believe. I get it. We did the show for what, 4 or 5 years, and on and off at least, and did a solid 4 years. And I can count on one hand how many times somebody got hurt, and people say, "How's that? How can that be?" Well, first of all, you got to remember we weren't trying to hurt one another. We were doing this as a work, and we knew it. Other than our shoot title matches, but even those weren't trying to hurt one another. We're just trying to win. So you know, it wasn't like the mentality of backyard wrestling in the 90s was trying to inflict pain, right? They wanted to see how much pain they could endure, and that's their mentality. Well, we didn't have that mindset. We were trying to put on a good performance, a good show. So, you know, if you look at it along those lines, it's not a shocker that nobody hardly got hurt. Now, of that, you asked what was the worst injury. I broke my finger, I think would be the worst. And you can see me in that promo talking about it. That Saturday promo we keep showing.
Ladies
But,
and gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson here. Be
Yeah,
sure to tune
breaking
into
my finger, I
NWF
guess. That was the worst.
Professional
Although the stinger, you know, when I did the
with
forward
such
pile
stars
driver
as
to Peter
Crossen,
Wynn and
Crossen,
Fredmore Junior High on
Mr.
that
X,
ring from
Kid
hell,
USA, Kelsey,
it was a
Jake,
boxing
and
ring,
many
it had no
more.
give.
Wednesdays, 5
And I did a
p.m.,
forward pile driver, and we
Thursdays, 8
loused
p.m.
it
on
up.
Channel
And I blame
3.
myself,
Tune
but
in.
Peter's head slipped out, and he got a stinger, and that wasn't necessarily an injury, but it was
Ladies
a
and
real
gentlemen, this
close
is
call.
Producer Jason Crossen here, reminding you
And,
to tune in to the
That's
NWF
I
Saturday
can't think of
afternoon
much worse than
special,
that.
live from
Nobody,
GW
other than breaking my
Studios, only
finger,
on
that was the
Cable
only
Channel
bone that ever
3.
got broke. There were people that were sore, bumps and bruises, but nothing really major though. And how did I break my finger? You might wonder. I did a power slam to Steve Engstrom, Mr. Ekstrom against the ropes, did a power slam, and as I came down on the power slam, I jammed my finger underneath his back on the slam. Busted my finger, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was. I went to the doctor the next day, and it was broke.
breaks it up.
We had to keep going
Crossen is laying on his back on
for the match. I was hurt like a son of a bitch. Let's see. Wayne says maybe you could add some of those talk show clips after one of these watch-alongs. Yeah, kind of get you an idea what that was like. Yeah, we got pretty good with it. It never really was live like it says it is. It was always pre-recorded and taped as if it was live. We'd even stage phone calls for live call-ins. But the funny thing about that is eventually we did do a live call-in talk show later on. Don't have any of that though, but yeah, we actually did do a real live call-in talk show like a year or two later, towards the end of the league.
Mr. Kelsey is here.
As I look at Stenerson and I wrestle Dixie Dave, these two are both bad guys who I don't like. They go to the all-you-can-eat special down at
Slick
Arby's every
Stenerson,
night, and they clean the place out.
those darn
Such words of
windows,
wisdom from Kid USA.
making the screen
Kelsey.
go black. That's Slick Stenerson going against
and it's a
myself.
rake across the eyes. Macho had a hold of the foot, and he's got a hold of it again. And across the
Now
rope,
we are,
Crossen's foot is hurt.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but I'm laughing.
So,
And Stenerson and I, you know, here we are going to have a match at the Armory doing the Snow Slam. No, by the way, my match with Stenerson at the Anoka Armory on this card
and they're
on March 20th was an awesome match. I wished I still had it. It was a really good match. But we just don't have it anymore.
And it's a hit from behind.
But yeah, we're
Crossen
just
is
kind of
down
building
on
up
his
to that
back.
match.
Stenerson
And you'll
is
notice in this
pointing.
match, I try to body slam Stenerson and I can't. That was intentional. We were trying to build up the fact that I
And
can't
he's
slam
picking
him.
up.
Because the match I
Crossen
have with
hit across the
Stenerson at
back
the
by
Armory
Crossen.
coming up is a no slam, no
And
belt.
a
Means
double
if I don't
sledgehammer.
body slam him, I lose my belt.
Oh, and a fist to the
So it was a
face,
lot on the
and
line for me
Stenerson is
as far
down.
as the fans were concerned.
The only holding Stenerson right now is the ropes.
Stenerson's good.
Crossen's
So
giving him
good.
punches
Such a
to
great
the
character.
gut. Ooh, a kick. Still doesn't stun him. And a headbutt. Knocks him back a couple steps, but... And that's a punch. Oh.
I wish we had a better angle
He's
for
hurt
this
his hand
camera.
on
You know,
that one.
like a bird's eye view of the
Double
ring would have
sledgehammer
been
to the
better.
head. Stenerson is stunned.
I wish we would have done
And
something
throws
better
him
because
into
this
the
is not a
ropes.
good angle.
We have a back body
Those
drop.
windows.
Oh,
But like
you
I said,
can
we'll
hear
fix
that
the
over
windows on the
here.
next Dayton show.
Crossen,
windows get
falls
fixed.
down with the arm across the chest. Stenerson is really stunned now. Oh, what an elbow across the
I always
back
wore
by
elbow
Crusher
pads, you guys,
Crossen.
because I learned when we got this
Crossen's outside
professional
the ring,
ring,
climbing up
if
to
you don't
the
have
top
elbow
rope.
pads on, you get
Gets
mat
up.
burns on your
He's up
elbows
there,
bad.
and
So,
Step,
and
oh
if I
no,
forget
he
my elbow
slams
pad,
him.
sometimes I'd forget them. I'd be
Stevenson just
pissed
slammed
because he ended up
Crossen
getting mat
from the
burns
rope.
big
And
time.
knee to the arm. He's picking him up by the hair.
Let's see,
Oh,
Cletus says,
shot between the legs.
am I pronouncing it right, Cletus? I hope. Do you know a lot of these
Crossen
guys
is
still? Yeah, yeah. I would say
Crossen is
more over
certainly
half
in
of them I'm
pain,
still in
and
touch
so
with.
is
You know, there's probably
Stevenson.
100 or so kids that came through the league. I'm in touch with a good number of them.
Macho in his corner.
We had a lot of them on as special guests. You know, back in the day.
Oh, and a punch
They
to the
came on
face,
and,
Steverson's going down. He's out on his back.
You know, just to, you know,
Kelsey hits him a couple times. And it's an
kind of
elbow
reunite
to
with
the
us on the
chest
show a
by
little bit.
Crossen.
We usually
Watch
watch a
this, he
show
looks
with
like
them
he's going for
that they were
the
on.
figure
and
four.
it was very interesting.
And
We had Andrew Carlson,
what is
Ace,
this?
one of our
Some new
earlier
horn?
wrestlers on, and Andrew was champion of our
Stevenson
league
is
during
in
the
pain.
shoot title match
Oh, you
days.
can hear him scream for pain. Oh,
So
elbow
all
slap,
Andrew
pull the
remembers
hair.
is real intense
Stevenson
wrestling
pulled the
for the
hair.
belt. Because all his title matches, that's what they were.
Macho calling Stevenson
And
to
I
his
remember
side.
telling him how we
But,
went away from that,
Crossen tries to body
you know,
slam him. Doesn't work.
after he
Macho
left.
pulls Crossen
And
outside,
Andrew's
Kelsey's
first
over there
thing
to help
was
out.
the match still competitive?
And there's some
No, because in his mind, that's all he knew. I thought that was interesting, you know,
And there's a
hearing
brawl
that
going on
perspective from
between
somebody who
managers
only
here.
knew shoot title matches.
inside
Because it
the
was,
ring.
when I mean competitive,
Oh, head
trying to
scissors.
win, you know, trying to
Oh,
keep
no,
the belt and
head
not lose
scissors
it. I mean,
on Stevenson by
it was a
Crossen.
for a 10-minute time limit, whatever we did, it was strenuous.
And he's breaking
those
out.
title
Oh, he let
matches,
go.
I'll say
Crossen's
that.
got a hold of his arm. Oh, and a punch to the midsection.
And why were we doing shoot title
And
matches?
a
Because
hip
everybody was
toss.
complaining
Oh,
about
you could
fa-
hear
you
that
know,
one over here.
favoritism and everything. And I said,
Crossen
fine, we'll just make it.
back
We
is in
won't
pain,
decide
as you
anymore.
can see.
It's going to be a shoot.
And there's a
We didn't call it a
chokehold.
shoot because we didn't know the term,
Definitely a
but it would
chokehold on
technically
Crossen.
be considered a
Stevenson
shoot,
is
you know, today. Meaning not determined, not predetermined.
And Crossen, Stevenson slap with a hand.
Thank
to
God we
Macho.
went
Oh,
away
and a
from that
punch
though,
to
because
the
that
jaw
wasn't
by Stevenson.
necessarily.
Comes up,
It's
does he get
fun to
it?
watch, I
And
guess, and there's a
slips
certain entertainment
out.
value there to see
Stevenson is
real
on the
wrestling, I
back.
guess, more or less. But it wasn't the way to
Picks
do
him
this
up.
professional
He's
wrestling.
on his feet, and Stevenson's on his feet.
It wasn't as entertaining, in my opinion.
And it's done.
It's competitive though.
Moves out of the way of a drop kick. Oh, but he gets him
Stevenson
with this
moved out of my
one.
drop kick. I had to do a
Stevenson
second
is
one.
down on his back.
Where's Troy's?
But, guy, but.
Where's Troy's stuff?
That's Mr. Macho in the black shirt in Steverson's
it's
corner.
a
They were a
feet
tag
across
team.
the eyes. How can Mr. Macho just stand there with Crossen just standing there right by him? Crossen picks up Stevenson. Oh, and he twists the arm. Gets up, telling Macho to go into
He's
the
telling
corner.
Macho to get in the
But
corner.
Macho does not seem to get the. Oh, now he gets
He's
the
telling
message.
Macho to get in the corner.
Oh, Crossen's got a chokehold on him.
Stevenson's up to something there. I forget what he's
And
doing
it
here.
throws him. No. Stevenson
What the hell's he
has
doing?
got a chokehold on Crossen.
It's some kind of finish there. It's that. Yeah, see, he's directing
And
Macho. It's
he's
that
holding him there
B-52
in the
bomber
corner,
they're trying to
throws
set
him
up
into
for.
the corner.
Always.
Oh,
That's
into
what
the
Macho
ref.
did.
And
Macho
a
distracted the
splash
ref.
into the corner.
And Stevenson
Ref
does a
is out.
splash to knock the
Crossen
ref
is
out.
Macho
And that's
is
what
in.
gives
Oh,
Macho the
down
opportunity to get in the ring,
They're
and they're
all
going to do their
climbing it.
B-52.
Stevenson
their-
climbing up to the top rope
The
with
one he
Macho
did
in the
that last
corner.
week and doing it again.
And Crossen is out cold, and so is the ref. Oh,
But I think I rolled
Stevenson
out of the way.
misses with the B-52 bomber.
So it backfired. The
And
B-52
Crossen
backfired
with
on Stevenson
the
that time.
The winner is Crusher.
But as you
Crossen.
notice, I couldn't slam him. See that happen in the
Oh,
match.
it's that,
Yeah, I know. Hopefully
Fighting
Dave will
going
still
on
come in
inside the
here,
ring.
but I was hoping to see Dave
It's
too.
Macho.
So they're only
and
showing
Kelsey.
December, but
Oh, it's a kick to the backside by
hopefully
Stevenson.
he'll still pop in. We'll see.
They're both down on their backs. Crossen and Kelsey are down on their backs.
The show is getting close to the end. Looks like we only got about 5 minutes or so left on this one, on this watch-along one part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson
Curious.
here. Be sure to tune
Oh,
in
that's
to
right. Yeah, the
NWF
last match is Dixie
Professional
Dave. Speaking
Wrestling.
of Dixie Dave, he's got against
Fresh
Thandar.
stars as
That's the
Crusher
final match
Crossen,
here.
Mr. X, Kid USA Kelsey,
Dave is so
Rattlesnake Jake, and
proud of
many
this
more.
match because he
We're on
takes a pile
Wednesdays, 5
driver
p.m.,
at the end of it. And
Thursdays,
he's so
8
proud of
p.m.
his
on
pile
Cable
driver.
Channel 3. Tune in.
He did good. He did good on it too. You'll see it coming up here.
Do it decent. Now in the ring.
So there's Dixie Dave
Dixon.
in the ring. Kind of changing his name by David Dixon.
And now coming to the
Well,
ring
it's the only
area,
rewind show. I got Forward
Thandar,
coming up.
The Barbarian.
Forward shows coming up.
There's
No,
the
in
man.
December
Oh,
we're
the
just
knee to the
because
back
of Christmas
slap.
and
We just-
everything and
what?
Thanksgiving. We don't have as much. Usually we go every
there's-
week. We do rewind, then we
Rolling
do
over the
forward.
pin,
Rewind,
and it's
forward.
1,
The difference
2,
between rewind and
pulls
forward
him
is
up,
rewind we watch our
right
old
there.
stuff. Forward we're going ahead
Thundar's picking him
with
up.
the new era of wrestling. I got Ricky Henry,
Got him up.
aka the
Oh,
Canary
it's a
Kid's
knee.
my
Oh,
co-host
knee
on
to the
Forward.
midsection, and some
And he's
elbows across
currently
the
in the
back.
business wrestling
And he
at
goes down from
17
1,
years
2.
old.
Oh, picks him up
And we try to
again.
get guys that started out young
And you
or
hear from
are
the crowd,
still
they
young
want
in
him.
their teens
Thundar
on
to
as guests.
slam Dave.
We've had some really good guests over there.
He's getting him. Does
past
he get
year
him
with
up?
that show.
Gets him up.
It's my way of
Does he get
looking
him?
forward at
And he
kids
slams
and
him.
slash
Oh,
teens
with
getting
the
into pro
power
wrestling at
slam.
an age.
2-0, picks him
And
up.
Ricky and I will be on next week for that
And
show. That's on Fridays
he's
now.
wrestling as
we'll
he
be on
picks him
every
up by
other
the hair
Friday with that
again.
one.
Gets him up against the ropes and throws him across the room.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thandar
falls
the
down.
Barbarian.
Oh, a knee to the back. Outside
He
the
actually,
ring, and throws him
Tim
back into
Holland, who's
the
Thandar,
ring.
he actually went by
And he's-
Thandar. A lot of people
Thandar's
called
on
him
top.
Thunder, but it was
1,
actually
2.
Thandar.
Oh, picks him up before the count of 3 again. And
But yeah.
Thandar's got
Now,
hold
this
of
was
him
what
against the ropes.
Tim and I were talking about.
Throws him into
Thandar
the
and I were
ropes.
talking about is he was
Here
going to make
comes
this like a
bouncing
kind of
up
a
and
squash
oh,
match. So
what
that's
a
why
clothesline
he's really
by
just working
Thandar
Dave
the
over here.
Barbarian. He literally jumped at him. And it's a leg. Oh!
He's got the face
leg
paint
jump
on and
across
everything.
the knee. Thundar is hurting. He's up though. And Dave is on his back. Thundar picks up Dave.
I have something to show you guys
And
too
he's
when the
got
show
him against
ends.
the ropes
I think you
again.
think this-
Throws
hopefully
him
you think it's
against the
pretty cool.
ropes. Dave hits the ropes, and it's a drop kick. Dave is down. Thundar, I don't know why he doesn't pin him, but picks him up again. Dave is, he's got his head in between his legs, picks him up, he's getting him up. He's got him up, and oh, what a pile driver by Thundar. Pulls him to the center of the ring.
See if
Dave
I
is
can
flat
get
on his
Dave
back,
a
and
link
it's the
here.
elbow
Just
across the
temporarily.
chest.
Got to figure this out.
Thundar.
Dave's trying to get on.
Is he going for the pin? Goes for the pin.
Let me try
1,
this.
2, and 3. As Thundar is the winner.
Dave, I'm going to send this to you in Messenger. If you're watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is producer Jason Crossen here, reminding you
guys,
to tune
we'll
in
try to get
to
Dave in
the
here another
NWF
way.
Saturday Afternoon Special, live from Goop W Studios, only on Cable Channel 3.
Until we can figure out what's going on, because he's got a new thing and it's not letting him in for some reason. But I think this will work if I get him in this way. There's the credits. So yeah, let me message him. All right, so we're back here, and hopefully if I can get Dave in here on this special guest link, we'll at least get him in here. And then he'll pop in here at the end. But yeah, good show. Now there's something I want to show you guys. I've been working on this for a while, and tell me what you guys think. I got actually 2 versions of this, but I finally made the replica of the Crusher Crossen figure. Now this is with the blue jacket. It's got the ring boots, right? And try to get that as close as I can. I think it turned out pretty good. And For those of you wondering, I'll show you. I'll just take the belt off. So I got this really cool belt, matches the blue belt. And let me take the ring jacket off. I want to show you what I did with this. Pretty cool stuff, though. Gotta get this jacket off. And he's even got the Crusher half shirt. How about that, huh? And here's, I always say, why do one when you can do two? So here's the second one. You can see it's got the singlet. Turned out pretty good, though, huh? The Crusher Crossen action figure, as I call it, the 5-time action figure, huh? I did all this myself. The only thing I had to get outsourced was the head, obviously. I had to have that done by one of the head sculpture guys that do heads. And I had somebody make the belt because I can't do that. That's all 3D printing stuff. But I did all the painting and stuff. Turned out pretty good. Kind of like it. Yeah. Yeah, Wayne says it's a cool custom fig. Yeah, I think it turned out good. All right, let me see if I can do this another way. I'm gonna get Dave in here, you guys. Stand by. He just has to get the link. So if I go to Messenger, and I can do it this way. I can. Let's see. I'm going to copy this link. And there. Hopefully we can get Dave in this way. But now, while we're waiting for Dave, let me talk a little bit about what's coming up on our show next week with Ricky Henry. So, Canary Kid. The Cowardly Kid, as I like to call him, you guys. He's just chicken shit. The chicken shit kid. Yeah. We got a guest with us coming on next week. And it's none other than, well, get that comment out of the way so you can see this better. From Ricky's promotion, NIPW, Ben Nelson. You've had him on before. He's going to come on again, with this time with me and Canary Kid, and I'm looking forward to it. You know why I like Ben, you guys? Ben said it would be an honor to get in the ring with Crusher Crossen. Now that's what I'm talking about. As I like to call, I think a better name here, Badass Ben Nelson will be joining us next week, December 20th. That's a Friday, you guys. And we're doing Friday because that way Ricky can stay up later that night. Same with Ben for that matter. They're both in school still. And it'll be great to talk to him. Ben wants to talk all about his matches he's had in England lately and just cool stuff that he's got coming up. So that'll be fascinating, and I'm looking forward. You know, Ben and I are gonna have fun. It's gonna be great to have somebody on who actually is not a chicken to get in the ring with anybody, unlike the Canary. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to that. And so that's what we got coming up. Our next Rewind show, which is going to be in January, you guys, by the time we get to it, because, you know, we won't be doing a show for Christmas. So January 9th is going to be our next Rewind show, and it's going to be studio taping 111 from the dry dock. And as you know, once we do this show, that means the next show we do, we go back to the beginning in the Group W Cable Studios, and we start again with the early stuff. So, so that's kind of how we do these watch alongs. We progress through each phase of it. So that's what's coming up down the line. And I just sent Dave the link, so I'm just waiting for him to hopefully connect in with a special guest link that he should be able to connect in with. And then at least he can say hello to everybody and talk. I know that Dave was gonna go into work tonight, but I don't think he is now because too much stuff going on with the pipes. So yeah, guys, I mean, that was a good show. What do you guys? I'm curious. While we wait here, um, yeah, the guy that's Ben Nelson. So that's what I'm saying. With NWF, so I should bring the comment in so you see what we're talking about. Cletus says, "Who was the guy in the pink hat?" That was Ben Nelson. He's one of NIPW's guys. That's what we do on Forward. Forward, we look ahead. We're looking at current kids/teens in the independent wrestling scene right now, and we bring them on as guests. I've had Sean Hernandez guys from San Antonio. I have them guys come on. I've got Joe Bird in Michigan who's training lots of young guys and getting them guys to come on. Of course, NIPW as well over there in Northern Ireland, and then we had Mitch the Kid from United Kingdom, all over the world, really. And so Forward's all about the future. And we're all in character, Canary Kid and I get into each other's, we get into it with each other, I always tell him he's a coward and he's a chicken, and he tries to defend himself, from that and make up excuses. It's all part of the show. So we're in character a bit. We have fun with it. And yeah, that's what Forward's all about. So yeah, it works pretty good. Yeah, we do actually. Gladys. We usually show a match or two of them in the ring as well, and we do kind of like we did just tonight. We do the watch along and we talk about it, and yep, we do that. And matter of fact, I just was talking to Ben. I'm in touch with all these guys as I have them come on as guests. We chat out in quite a bit, and I was talking to Ben today, saying, "Hey, get me some links to matches you want us to show on that show." So he'll come up with some matches he wants us to show. So these young guys, like Ricky, the Canary Kid, my co-host for that show, and Ben, they're anywhere from, well, shit, Officer Smalls, is 15 years old with Hernandez down in San Antonio. Some of these guys are young, and they're starting out in the indie scene, and so it's they're just getting started, and my whole idea is to give them a platform, give them showcase what they're all about, and kind of show you guys what they're up to and everything. And that's my idea with Forward, is we want to look ahead at obviously with Rewind we look back at what we did and how we did it 30, 40 years ago, but this is how kids are doing it today in a much more controlled environment, much better environment in a way. I say in a way because I learned a hell of a lot from the NWF. I mean, I wouldn't trade that for anything, honestly. I mean, yeah, we're kids, which looked like we were clowning around at times in the earlier shows, but hey, we got pretty well advanced with the show, and I learned a lot from that. I mean, honestly, how many 16-year-olds or 15, 16-year-olds can say they were promoting their own wrestling show, selling out armories with 400 or 500 people showing up, and producing a cable television show every week? I mean, that was just a huge learning thing for me that I learned, took away so much I can't even put it into words properly. So yeah, but these kids today who just want to do the wrestling, this is a really good situation. It's the indie feds, you guys, that are making this happen for young kids today and teens. They're the ones that are opening the door. So I don't know if Dave's going to make it in. I thought we would see him by now, but I don't see him. I was kind of hoping he would come in for the end of it before we sign off. But yeah, it's that's what Forward's all about. So what we do Rewind on every other Thursday, and then we do Forward on the weeks in between, which used to be Thursdays, but now we do them on Fridays. Forward's Friday now because it just makes it better for my co-host Ricky Henry, because otherwise he's dragging his ass in school the next day because he stays up so late. Because remember, Ricky's in Northern Ireland, so for him to come on the show with me when we go 5 p.m. Eastern on those shows, for him that's 10 o'clock his time. So he's up to like midnight doing that show with me. Yeah, can we donate money to Dave's Pipes for him to come on? I know the funny thing is, we tested his Chromebook and it worked just fine when he came on his Chromebook, and now all of a sudden he can't seem to get on with his Chromebook. I don't know what he did. So I have no idea. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I see him. There he is.
I finally made it.
You came in. I was holding the show all myself. I thought I had a co-host on this show. But you know what? I
Well,
had to carry the boat myself. I know
well,
my
I'm
voice is
sorry,
getting high-pitched and everything, but yeah.
real life happens.
I'm just playing the
Oh, I know.
face.
You're trying to be a heel.
Well, heel/face, whatever. But yeah, we watched your. I kind of talked your points. Your famous pile driver you took in your match. We just seen it,
Yep.
and I know Dave's had a a pissy beaver today trying to get pipes unthawed.
Yeah,
So,
it got to the point Roto-Rooter just said you're better off to go buy your own heater and
thaw 'em out.
try and thaw them out, and now we got to replace heat tape and
So did you
all
get
that
it?
fun
Did
stuff.
you get a heater then going?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Went to the store, bought a new heater, and got it going at 4,000 BTU. And
Yeah, there was somebody in here that kept asking for you. As the username was Gummy Bears 919. And they're saying, "Where's Dave? We want to see Dave." And yeah, they were. And then I think they ended up signing off. But yeah, no, it was a good show. And by the way, Hammer had issues as well. He just couldn't get logged in. It wouldn't let him
yeah,
get past the login screen. Just kept saying loading studio.
yeah, I had that issue for a couple minutes, and then finally I reset some settings in my Chromebook, and
And then because we tested it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what happened, I think, is I had increased the screen size too big,
Right.
and
And I did point out, Dave. I know you wanted to say too, but I said earlier when we started the show, I wanted to give a special shout out to Gizmo.
yeah,
Very very generous donation he gave us for all the work we've been doing with you know he knows the expenses
right,
involved with everything, and he gave us I'm not the kind of person to say, I don't want to say numbers. We don't need to. Just know that it was a very generous donation, and we very much appreciated it. And
yes,
we never ask. I don't want people to feel obligated by any means, but that was Gizmo. Gizmo approached us with that, and it was a shock to me, honestly. And
yep. Well, Gizmo approached you
right.
because you're easier to contact than I am, but
Yep, and then, but like I said, I like to pay it forward, and I knew that your Chromebook. It was just so happened that Dave's Chromebook that he always used for this podcast died. We thought the
during a
battery was,
show,
yeah, we thought the battery was going out, and it was actually the Chromebook died, and
yep,
so I gave Dave a little bit of money as well to get a new Chromebook. So,
yep,
and he uses it just for this show. So.
exactly. I mean, this Chromebook is only NWF related.
So here he is, Gummy Bears. It says, "Holy crap, Dave is here. I just came on quick." He's been waiting for you all show, Dave.
Now, Gummy Bear, do I know you in person?
This is a bigger screen on your Chromebook too, right? You can see it better.
Oh
now?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. The other Chromebook.
Oh shoot, Dave, I'm gonna have you hold the phone here for a sec. Hang
Uh-oh.
on, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Hold the shit.
But yeah,
down.
the old Chromebook was real small. It was like an 11 or 14 inch, and this is like a 16 inch. So it's a lot better. So who all's still with us in the comments here? So Cletus Anderson, that would be appreciated but not required. It's an endeavor that we're trying to get taken care of. Oh, okay, Gummy Bear.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, guys, the doorbell.
I just referred our show to a couple people, and I know Gizmo, but last night I was getting ready for work, and pipes were all frozen up, and I'm still trying to unthaw them.
And as it is, Dave isn't going in tonight, and so he just had a. I can just tell by the way you're laying down. You've had a rough time.
Oh, it's been. I did my usual thing that I do Thursdays when I get off work. We won't go into what it is, but it's a good thing. Got home, started calling plumbers, and because of me being in a mobile home, 80% of the plumbers I tried to reach out to would not work on my house. So finally found one, and they kept telling me, "Oh, well, we'll let you know when we're on the way." And my fiance and I had an errand to run. We were on our way home and found out, oh, they're sitting in the driveway.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if you've seen this one, but Wayne says, "Saw you take the pile driver." He was watching.
Well, what'd you think of it, Wayne? And Cletus, it was Roto-Rooter that finally came out, but they couldn't get him to thaw out, so.
Well, if you got one of those torpedo heaters, that's going to do the trick here eventually.
So I got myself a torpedo heater and set it up and bought a 20-pound tank of propane, so after the show, I'm going to go to the living room, maybe doze in my chair for a few minutes, go out and check on it. And
yeah, make sure the house don't start on fire.
Oh, yeah.
You've already
No
had
kidding.
that before.
Oh. And it'd be really bad with all the DVDs and books we got here.
Dave's got a bunch of them. You sold it well, Dave, he says. And he's seen his share of pile drivers, I'm sure, with all the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I sold it well enough to pull Crusher Crossen.
Yeah, I came into the ring, if you notice, at the end. Damien says, looks like that pile driver hurt, but I don't think you got hurt at all on that pile driver.
No. It looking like it hurt was all sell.
Right. Pile driver is one of those moves that it's why the WWE has banned it traditionally, right?
Right.
Because you can really mess up. I mean, it's one of those things. That's a maneuver. When I always talk about the traditional pile driver, which is what you did, and that's one you just don't see very much anymore because people do get hurt with that.
Right.
And I don't think it's even hardly ever done anymore. So even to this day.
Nope. And let's see,
Gummy
Gummy Bear
trophies. Let me see if I can reach them here. I'll take my headset off to grab some.
Now, how much did you pay for these? Oh, he must. Yeah, he took his headphones off, so he can't even hear me.
Okay, so now I got to put them back up there again. That's all right. We'll show you some of these. I didn't bring all these down. These are the Telly awards. This is the biggest, most recognized one. This is they still do them to this day, and it's the 2006 Telly Award, Motivational Award for this one. We won 3 of these. This is one of 3. It was motivational. They're different categories. Then there's the Accolade Award. And this is all for the documentary back in 2006. That's a cool one. I always like that one. And then we also won this is the Gold Award for the Aurora Awards. And I think these are still going on. They still do Aurora as well. It's a nice one. It's all for the documentary. And then this one is the Aegis Awards. We were a finalist for that one. And then we got this Award of Distinction. This is a cool one. I always like this one too. From the Videographer Awards. That's a cool looking one. There's a few other ones too that I got up there, but that's some of them anyways. That was all for the documentary.
And we won't talk about how much you had to pay to get those.
No, you don't really pay. But yeah, you do have to pay. They charge you for the trophy, but there's very minimal to enter these every year when you produce something, you can enter them. But
he's talking about paying for the trophies. I was talking about the bribes to win them.
No, you don't bribe anybody. They actually grade your stuff, and and then they give you, a lot of times you don't get there's people I know that submitted for Tele Awards that never get them. So, and there's like regular studios and stuff that put their stuff in there, like real big name shows. So you're kind of going up against everybody.
Right. And here we are, the little NWF that could. And
Dave, do you see that behind on my shoulder over here? Do you see that? That is the NWF World Title.
Yep.
And I was showing him too the Crusher Crossen 5-time action figure. Very cool.
Yep.
And by the way, guys, it's a work in progress, but it's not done yet. I want to get the hair color more accurate, but there is a Dixie Dave I'm working on as well. Dixie Dave, everybody.
Yep.
Pretty cool there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Still working on that one, though. And I'm working on other ones. I got Kelsey in the works. And so it's just a little fun side project to do and stuff when I have spare time, which I haven't had a lot of lately.
No, not with moving.
Yeah. That's why the wall's bare. I don't have the belts up or anything yet. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet because this is a whole different layout. So I'm not sure.
Gummy Bear, the only trophies I have are the replica belts that I've collected over the years.
Yeah, normally Dave is in his room with all those belts and you'd see him behind him.
But with Roto-Rooter coming out today, they had to get to the hot water heater, and that's in the closet in the room that I'm usually do the show in.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Crusher, kind of funny, one of the Roto-Rooter guys was asking what was in all the boxes.
Yeah.
So I pulled out one of the DVDs, showed it to him, and he goes, oh, I know about that company. I had a sister that lived up in the Anoka area.
Really? So you remember?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep. He knew about us.
I'm telling you, in the area for that time period. I've said this before, I can't speak for all the other states we went to because we were only in one city and who knows, how many people seen that. But in the metro, especially in the area where we were from, in the Anoka area and that.
Yep.
I think I bet you it's, as popular as cable was at the time, and that was the only thing you could get. There were only 40 channels. Everybody heard about us at one point in time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everybody knew of it, There's no doubt about that. So for that time period, at least.
During that time period, we had people that weren't even wrestling fans coming to the shows.
Yeah.
Just to check us out.
It was a curiosity thing, You got to remember, it was an attraction, like Kids Pro Wrestling. I was like, what's that? They've never seen that before. It was like almost like a curiosity thing.
Yep.
if they didn't see it on cable. And then a lot of the people that went to the shows, Dave, were tuning into our cable show for years
Yep.
and were regulars that watched. So they were wanting to come to see the live shows. So it was we had a good thing going there. Real good thing.
A good thing going back then and a good thing going now. I mean, granted, we may not be huge and get thousands upon thousands of views, but hey, we got our loyal crowd, and that's what we appreciate.
And we keep embracing the future with
Yep.
people like Officer Smalls and Hillbilly Kid and Canary Kid and Ben Nelson, which I was talking about. I don't know if you've seen this graphic, Dave, but coming up next week on NWF Forward, which is now going to be on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
We got what I'm calling Badass Ben Nelson. I'm giving him a new name, Badass Ben Nelson. You know why I call him Badass?
Why is that?
Because he's not afraid to get in the ring with Crusher. He said it'd be an honor to get in the ring with Crusher. So
Okay.
he's badass in my opinion. And you know what? Ben and I have a match, win, lose, or draw. I don't care who wins the match. You won a hell of a match, and we would say this was one to remember. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's lacking from the Canary Kid. He's actually, I hate to say it, but he's got a pair, right? That's the only way I can word it.
I can't. You know me, I lead a busy life, and I can't really judge Ricky, I haven't had a chance to sit down and have a chat with the man or anything, but there's two sides to every coin. I mean, we could always say that you could always man up and fly across the ocean and go see him.
Yeah.
Terrorize him on his turf.
Well, that's what I've said I would do. But you got to remember, he's got a promoter over there who's trying to protect him as well. So there's that.
Well, that promoter could be trying to protect the senior citizen sitting next to me.
Hey, I just single-handedly moved myself across town. I took a 300-pound purple mattress and myself and moved that son of a gun down 2 flights of stairs. Now, if I can go through that amongst everything else, I can definitely get in the ring with the Canary Kid.
Well, you talk about moving one purple bed.
Oh, don't ever try to move it by yourself, guys. That was not easy.
Crusher. You got to remember the line of work I'm in.
Yeah.
I deal with more than one of those a night. So, you want to be talking about lugging one around.
Well, yeah. And,
I'm lugging multiple purple mattresses.
And Cletus, to answer this, sounds like Dixie is calling you out, Crusher. Yeah, well, he can try to call me out all he wants. He sits here and squawks like Ricky Henry. He squawks like, well, I never got a title shot. He was always ducking me. Nobody was ducking you, Dave. You just weren't in the top 10 contendership. And,
Well, you kept holding me down, I mean, what can I say? When the promoter's holding you down, it's hard to get a title shot.
It sounds like somebody wants their national tag title opportunity to be taken away that I gave you, right?
Hey, I've already got the belt.
Dave forgets that I'm the one who okayed that. So he got his...
Well, you also have to remember who's the one that even brought it up, because nobody else would speak up.
Well, that's what I was saying, though, with Dave, you guys, is he was... I remember guys, Dave, and I know this, you're going to remember this, but was testing you in the ring every time. I mean, you'd go through hell in some of these matches, stiff like nothing else. And you would keep coming back. And you wouldn't quit. It's almost like they're trying to make you quit.
Hey, they may have tried to make me quit, but they learned a valuable lesson. Quit's not in my vocabulary.
I was telling the guys too, the fact that you weren't on the show. I said, something, guys, I think there was only one show that Dave has ever missed in the 3 years we've been doing this.
And that was simply I had overslept and not had enough sleep because I was working like crazy.
Yeah. It was during the time of the holiday season. And
What was that one with Dread?
right, and it was during the holiday times.
Yep.
Where you were working long shifts, so. But yeah, I mean, it was we had I wish you could have been here for the watch along part, because
Oh,
that was a fun show to watch. I did my best by myself, and Hammer Racer X. I wish it was working for him because he was ready to, he's trying to get in, he just couldn't get in.
yep.
I even gave him the guest link, and that didn't work for him either.
Huh.
And usually that works.
Well, I know I was having an issue with the link, so finally I did some adjusting on my Chromebook, and I just went straight through to the studio direct through the website.
Like, what were the issues on the?
Oh, my screen wasn't letting me scroll down to where I needed to go to log into the studio. So I just reduced the size of my screen and
Then you got it figured out.
yep.
And then, just so everybody knows, when Dave and I are on again with Rewind, it's not going to be because we're not going to do a show the week of Christmas. So Dave and I will be back on. I should get that comment off so we can see this. Is Thursday, January 9th, and it's going to be studio taping 111 from the Dry Dock, another Dry Dock show. And that's
Yep.
and from this point on, actually the week before this, I think I'm doing Canary Kid and Forward be the
Yep.
second or whatever, or whatever it is, whatever date it is before the week before this will be a Forward show, but then we'll be
Yeah, it'd be
every
around
week
the
again.
second.
But we'll be going every week again, like either with a Rewind or a Forward show. So.
And what's obvious is with the Rewind we look back at our past.
Mm-hmm.
And with Forward we like to pay it forward and show respect to upcoming stars.
Yep. And the Forward we try to, at Ricky's suggestion, let's have fun with it. Let's be in character a bit. So, this whole Crusher Cross versus Canary Kid is part of our gimmicks that we're kind of pushing, and that's what it's all about. So, know full well that I might talk smack with Ricky, but I have a lot of respect for what he's doing, and he knows it. So.
Oh yeah.
And he respects what we did, Dave. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
one of these days we may have to try and figure out a way to bring Ricky in with us.
Well, he wants you to come on Forward one of those times too. He always says. So.
Yep. And I don't know if you noticed this comment from Cletus Anderson.
What donation do we need to give to see you two in the ring against each other? I mean, you're talking about Dixie Dave and Crusher Crossen? Well, what we need to make that match happen is a pill that could go back in time for Dixie Dave, because while I can get in the ring, no problem, Dixie Dave would need help getting into the ring, let alone have a match.
Oh, whatever, Crusher.
So there's that.
Whatever.
I don't know what to say to that. Yeah. It's funny, Cletus, if you bring that up. When I did the documentary, what was that? 2004, I think, when we filmed it.
Something like that.
There were guys that wanted to do a reunion show at that time, back at the Armory. Just let's get in the ring and do it again. And we came damn close to doing it. Like, we were getting numbers put together and everything. The only thing the only reason it probably didn't happen is I was not in the metro anymore. I was in Wisconsin. It was very hard for me to do this, try to coordinate this out of state. So, yeah. And then Sports Video says, you did a great job carrying the show. It was fun and entertaining. Yeah. So, yeah, I had to carry the show today, Dave, because we weren't here initially, and
Well, about time you actually do some work for the show.
Now, I don't know who's worse. You or Ricky Henry. I mean, Canary Kid likes to shout his beak off, but Canary does it because he thinks he's safe. His promoter's protecting him. He's a gazillion miles away from me. But what Ricky Henry doesn't realize is there may come a time where we're going to see each other face to face. And then what are you going to do, Canary? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Then what are you going to do? That's my question.
Let's all hope Crusher doesn't wind up in a wheelchair.
I tell you, folks, look what I put up with. And then people wonder why I had heel tactics now and then. Yeah, because I had to deal with the likes of you and Canary Kid and everybody else. It's funny, Dave. I was just watching a scene. I was talking to Canary Kid. We were chatting about, and I showed him a video back in the day of a situation where Bobby Heenan came out in the Fabulous Ones interview and interrupted it. He said
Yeah.
he's sick and tired of the Fabs. He's sick and tired of this, and then they attack him, and then they come out and they Bockwinkel and Sato come out and they all like triple team the Fabs, and it was one of those kayfabe moments where you thought, "What the hell happened here? Was that real? Did Bockwinkel really pile drive him on the concrete? And Weston get busted. It just felt so real as a 12 or 13-year-old watching that.
Oh yeah.
And I was telling Canary, this is what I miss today. That you just didn't know for sure if it was real.
I mean, back when we were kids, okay, a pile driver was dangerous enough to watch.
Yeah.
But somebody did something like that on the floor.
On concrete.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sato had this samurai hat, and Heenan took the blade part of it and just nailed Stan Lane across the head, and then he's bleeding, and you're thinking, did he do that? So it's like, and then you hear all this commotion going on afterwards, and it just, how when something really happens and it's unplanned, and it's like, there's no announcer or nothing, and you can hear all probably yelling outside, and then people come out, and then Wally comes like, I don't think I'd move him, Greg, because he got pile drived. And Roger Kent's like, just call emergency, call EMTs, just cut it, and it's like, God, it just felt so. I really miss that. I miss that era.
Last real good kayfabe story was when when Savage crushed Steamboat's windpipe, allegedly.
I don't remember that.
It was just before WrestleMania 3. It's what led up to Steamboat winning the IC title.
Yeah.
Because they had a match prior, like on a Saturday night's main event or something, and Savage was on the verge of losing, hit Steamboat with the bell, and then jumped off the top rope and hit him in the throat with the bell.
Well, I could think. I think my thing more recent than that even was remember when Ric Flair faked the heart attack in the ring? He was mad at Bischoff. He came back after Bischoff and him had a real beef.
Yeah.
And Flair was getting all excited and yelling in the ring, and then he starts going into a medical problem, and then he collapses, and he faked a heart attack that looked real, and everybody thought, did he just have a heart attack? People were talking about it on the internet and everything. It's like, Flair was that good though.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that footage to send you.
But yeah, it was a good show. I'm glad you're able to come on at least and say hello before we sign off anyway. And it's our only show in December, guys, for Rewind it is. Now remember, a week from tomorrow, next Friday, at our earlier time, 5 p.m. Eastern, we will be on. I'll be on live again with the Canary Kid, aka Ricky Henry, and our special guest Ben Nelson. And so make sure you tune in for that one. Well, it'll be a great show. I can't wait to get into it with Canary again, like I've been doing. And we worked. Ricky Henry and I were supposed to touch base today, but he's got some. He had to get up early, so he couldn't come on with me after training to test out
Yeah.
his new Chromebook to make sure everything's working right. Hopefully, we'll see him in better condition now, better shape. So, because he was just using a cell phone before, and you've
Well,
done
you
that.
know,
You did that for a while.
it's so much, speaking of as somebody who's done both, it's so much easier with the Chromebook that I have now. I mean, you look at it, Crusher, I haven't had to zoom into the screen to see the comments.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to always go like that to read. And now you can see him, right?
Yep, now I'm sitting up here. Not having to zoom in, and I can read what people are saying.
Yep, Dave and I have been doing this show now for 2 solid years. We're going on our 3rd year.
Yep.
Because we started in 2022 in, I believe, November or December. No, we had a pilot show in December.
Yeah, we did the pilot in December, and then we went full blown with the show in January.
In January, yeah. And for the first year, we did it every week, every Thursday.
Yep. And then we had that little break, and you decided we were going to go every other Thursday. And then lo and behold, you're back to doing like 12 podcasts a month almost.
Yeah. Although now, I was going to say now, Kayfabe, Keaton, he's done a few shows on his own now, and he's got the free version of EVMux, and he's got the knack of it. So now I think we can kind of almost let him loose with that, and I can just join him on his stream, and let him take the reins.
Well, keep it on here, because you never know when I may want to pop in.
Right. Yeah, I know. I gotta get on my channel on his thing so he can link both of them. It's easy to do. We just gotta hook up and do it. But yeah, so I'm glad it's going good. He had some pretty good guests on too. I wasn't on for him, but he had the midget guy. They don't like being called midgets, but they're the micro wrestlers or whatever.
Yeah.
He had those guys on. Pretty interesting stuff. They're super busy, but they came on his show. That was a good interview for him, I guess.
Well, I mean, who knows what the future has for us? I mean, look at us. We brought Hernandez into the picture, and he's been on a couple times, and he's straight up said we're the only.
Yep, and he has another guy he wants me to get on too. He popped in when we were talking to Hillbilly Kid.
Yep.
And I think he'll be the next one we get with Hernandez. Is be our next guest that we have come on with him. And usually when I bring those guys on, Hernandez likes to be on with them, I think. So he might be popping in again.
Well, proud papa moment for him, watching him get international publicity.
Wayne, are you saying how is it now? Is this better? Is it better when I put the mic closer to me? Can you hear me good now? Is this good? Because he says he can hear you good, but not me good. Is that better? Otherwise, let me know. I'm going to fix this right now. There's something I can do. Because I can always go here. Hang on, I'll fix this.
You are correct, Tina Louise. The DDT was Jake Roberts.
All right, let me know if this is any better. Or is it too loud now? Wayne, Is it loud? Because I just increased the input volume, so it might be louder now.
He said a little better, closer.
Oh, I see. I'm on the wrong thing. Hang on. How's this? Is this better?
I can hear you better now.
He said Dave's is too loud. Oh, you know how you gotta adjust yours too, Dave. You got the volume control in the corner there. You got to bring your input down. I made mine louder though. I'm like, mine should be much. Is mine better now?
Yeah, yours is good now.
All right, because I brought it up. Okay, I see what the problem was. So we'll try it. We'll try it right here. Hopefully this isn't too loud. But yeah, I see what the problem was. I moved and everything got reset, and I had to hook everything up again. And yeah, I didn't even got my wall done. I only got my belts, my NWF collection back there. So
Yep, you don't have your belt collection behind you. I don't have mine behind me, but I do have Liliac watching over us.
yeah. And I still think this is cool, you guys. Look at the detailed work they did on that NWF replica of the world title for the figure. Isn't that good? Man, that's good. It looks just like it. The detail. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. And I thought you always ask about the half shirt, so I thought for sure you'd like the half shirt with the Team USA. I had to have a guy print me that too. He makes custom clothes for figures. So that was the other thing I had to outsource. But I'll tell you something. The hardest part of doing these figures was the detail work in the wrestling boots to get them right. That was hard.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the painting on that part was hard. But yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Sky Sports, a comment hasn't come in yet, but he says you can sell all those belts as a wristband. Because Dave wants
a little small.
Dave wants to know if I'm going to make the national tag title for Dixie Dave.
Well, we were the last defending national tag team champions. Just saying.
Yeah. And how come Crossen never got a shot at the national tag titles when you had them?
Because you were busy with your world title.
Yeah.
Well, I was national tag champ. You lost your world title. And then the night I lost my title, you regained yours.
I'll tell you something. You know what I was thinking of doing? If I ever went over to Northern Ireland here, I would bring my NWF world title and bring it out of retirement. And whether it's Ben Nelson or the Canary Kid, and give them a shot to try to either win the NWF world title or I retire as the NWF world champion, which I never did. So it'd be my way to retire with the NWF belt.
True.
Or would I lose it and it would go off to Ireland, never see it again in Northern Ireland? Because they would just take it on its own title reign over there.
Well, you would get to see it if Ricky beat you for it.
Well,
you'd get to see it every week because he'd have to rub it into your face.
Yeah, he would. But that's wishful thinking. You're talking about NWF World Title, Crusher Crossen, all the stakes on the line. It would be, I'm sure Ricky would like to win the NWF World Title, but saying you're going to win the world title and winning the world title are two different things.
Well, I do see one flaw with your thinking of you coming out of retirement and defending the world title.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you do? Win a tournament down in Rio de Janeiro to regain your world title?
Well, I'm doing what I did in the beginning of the league. I'm declaring myself as the champion.
Ah.
It only makes sense. Yeah. Now that'd be fun.
To a title that died R.I.P. 36 years ago.
Well, we don't never really know what happened to the NWF. I mean, that was with Ernie and them. I left the league, and the title stayed with them. And I don't know. I mean, they eventually stopped, but
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The last champion. Okay, so Wayne wants to know who the last NWF champion was. It was technically Grizzly Stevens in the Dry Dock days, as far as I know. I don't know if he ever lost it to anybody, but that was the last person I know to hold it. The last one we kind of recognize in the NWF because that was Ernie's league. We don't really recognize Grizzly. We recognize Kelsey to be the last one because he was part of the our NWF.
Right.
So, all right, Dave. Well, I think we should probably wrap her up here. We've been going
Yep.
for 2 hours, and I got a little bit longer tonight just because it was our only show for the month for Rewind. So I figured why not.
Yep.
But,
and all my issues I had getting in there today. So,
yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, folks, we will see you once again next month. Don't forget, mark your calendar for the 9th.
Next year, you could say.
Yep. Don't forget to mark your calendar for the 9th, because then, your favorite hero will return to save the show.
Yeah, and I'll be back. But remember, I'll be back next week on Friday with Ricky Henry,
To help
aka
put you
the
to
Canary
sleep.
Kid, and badass Ben Nelson. I'm going to look forward to that one.
Yep. Crush will be back next week to help put you to bed, kiddies. He'll bore you to sleep.
And thanks again, Gizmo and Wayne and everybody else for joining us tonight. It's been great. And we will see you guys again. Remember, next week, Friday, I'll be on with Ricky and Ben.
See you next year, people.
All right, folks, have a good night.